Good evening, everybody, and welcome to day 26 of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament. Tonight we have a match between Fitzentoaster and VaeluV. Both of these runners are 0-4, so they are vying for their first win in the Scorpion group. And it should be a fun match. I am joined here with MathGirl718. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. So this will be a fun match, purely for, pride and internet points, but still fun nonetheless.
Now, the last race we saw between two players that that had already been out of playoff contention, they decided to have a pact with each other to go to level 30 before winning. Let's hope that our runners tonight did not come to a similar pact.
Was that restreamed? Because if not, I'd totally be down to restream, podcast that.
It was not restreamed. We were watching it on the stream yesterday, and then when we had the multicast thing, and we're all like, let's go stats, come on, let's go. Okay, we're going to level 22. Guys, let's go stats, come on. Till finally about level 24, we all got clued into, yeah, I don't think they're going anytime soon.
We should totally podcast that. But thank you, Raiders. Also, it looks like we're about to get going. Let's see what's here in the throne room. Fairy water. Cursed belt. Okay, that's a search spot in play. And of course, the requisite magic key.
Of course,
also,
at this point, having the cursed belt is also it's nice for the knowledge, but it's also nice to get one because it's a free 180 gold if you end up in a town other than Rimeldar, and you could potentially sell that for a copper sword, and you don't lose it by half when you go out in the world. So it can have value outside of just the knowledge this early in the game.
Yep. Also, Druid Lord, so it's Fire Lord 2, or Air Lord? Dragon Lord 2 Breath.
That was also just immediately southeast of the castle, so that's not a Zone 1 or 2 monster, so that zone, or that castle must be on the far southeast corner of Zone 0. I have to make sure that, which means that really to grind safely, you're going to have to, stay to the west of the castle.
So we've got 0, 8, 9, and 4, it looks like.
The 0 is just absolutely phenomenal.
Especially considering the starting streaks.
And now VaeluV is going to use his fairy water to get his big boost of experience. And now we're going to be on a slime and red slime hunt.
Yep. Because we still don't have any strengths to speak of. Alright, that kills the red slime.
Unfortunately, to make things just a little slower, the red slimes have sleep that looks like they used about 50% of the time, and with 5 strength, they're not killing the red slimes in one hit, so it's quite annoying. Obviously, with this many hit points, and the red slimes being weak, they're in no actual risk of anything, but, and I did just notice VaeluV's, name, and, I will agree with his sentiments. We should pay Math Girl.
I think that's a joke from last night as well, because somebody was, talking about, that I was paid to do something, probably roll seeds if I had to guess, and I was like, wait, I get paid?
Well, given this start, I'm thinking they would wish they had paid you more.
I mean, the last seed I rolled was a jet seed.
I do notice that Fitzentoaster is using the Ragnar sprite. I'm not familiar enough to know if he typically sticks with that, or if he is trying to channel his inner VaeluV, but this is VaeluV's standard sprite that he uses for everything, being a big Dragon Warrior 4 fan.
It's certainly a cute sprite. Oh my goodness, Tello hoping it's Red Slime has 25% Wombo.
1 power at level 3. This is gonna be a long one. What's really annoying for our runners is that we have not seen a Drakey or a Ghost. Now, at 6 attack power, a Ghost is actually really bad play. But a Drakey would be nice to improve things just a little bit. However, I mean, Fitzentoaster just went a little west and stopped at the swamp. They have heal. They have 44 HP. I would be inclined to see if I could branch out a little bit, especially to the west where you're guaranteed to, because of how it's on the east side of the zone, you're pretty much guaranteed to have 30 steps to the west that are in Zone 1 so you can get away from them. I would definitely branch out to the west and see if there might, or not, I should say, an option would be to go branch out to the west and see what would be there.
Also, was it really 1000?
I missed it. I was too distracted by the 1 to process the rest.
So, also, we've got swamp to the east and swamp to the west, and no way to go north or south.
Yeah, this is not the most pleasant starting zone to have if you want to branch out a little bit. The other thing I would do is, and I think Fitzentoaster is at it now, and actually VaeluV is as well. With this much HP and heal, your other option is you can actually chip down a Magician. It's going to take you 20-ish swings to do, but you know you can absorb 20-ish swings worth of hits. So we just get to watch the Magicians get tickled for a little while before they fall down. And Ziggy makes a good point in chat. 20 swings gives you a non-negligible chance to get a crit somewhere in there. And I certainly know that in seeds like this, where I couldn't get off the ground in level 1, I said, I'm just going to keep fighting this monster that I can't hit and can't whatever until I crit it, because that's my only way out of here. And so fishing for a crit fighting these guys isn't a horrible idea either. I'm not sure there's anything that's a good idea in this seed, but it may be less bad.
Also, I just want to note, I did not roll this. Shockingly. I think Camion did, probably our restreamer. Shoutouts to our restreamer and our tracker, by the way. Our tracker, Vinicus, and restreamer Camion.
Now that both of our players have gotten down their Magician, they are now fishing around for the little things to kind of just finish off the last little bit to the 35 experience they are looking for to get to level 4 and obtain what I'm assuming is going to be another strength increase of 1.
Yes, 0 strength, please. Yes, Camion learned from the best how to seed roll.
And this slime on VaeluV's side is going to give us level 4, so let's see what he is able to pull out. A power increase of 2! 2, 1, 1, and return, because they really need to be able to get to that castle fast.
Oh boy.
The good news is now they can start doing guaranteed damage to the ghosts that are non-existent.
Yeah, not guaranteed to hit magicians, though.
Yeah, again, this is where I start thinking maybe you branch out. The other thing is I'm noticing they're grinding in the hills here, but based upon the location of the Druin Lord, I'm thinking that surprisingly they're probably in Zone 2 rather than in Zone 0. And so I'm wondering if you were to travel northwest of the castle, if you might actually end up in Zone 0 and potentially get those ghosts and drakeys. Those are not pleasant. That's not a pleasant thing to do, to grind on grass tiles versus hills, but it is an option to try to fish out other things. Your other option could be to travel far west of the castle through the swamp and potentially use the swamp encounter tiles as you're searching to track down on the ghosts or drakeys, which are really kind of the meat you're looking for at to get up with the stats we have.
Is it 82, was it, for level 5?
Yep, 82, so Fitzentoaster just passed the halfway point.
Oh, I am sorry to these runners, but I'm also not, because this is the kind of seed I love.
And this is the seed that makes these runners go, man, I'm glad I'm not having to continue after this.
I mean, you have first-hand experience with some of the worst Math Girl seeds that have ever been rolled.
I most certainly do. I can state from experience that Math Girl seeds can be quite the challenge to deal with.
And quite the RNG fest at times.
Honestly, one of the greatest skills in this game, and one of the things I think I've learned from having been stuck in so many Math Girl torture seeds, is that one of the key things you can do to make your gameplay better is learn how to not go on tilt. Because the game will start saying, no, I'm going to hurt you right now, and you have to be able to not let that take you over, but instead just be like, alright, game's gonna do what the game's gonna do, let's continue to make the right decisions and hope it works out.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Yes, as Vinica said, Seed says, kick them while they're down. Also, yes, fighting scorpions apparently being brought up in chat.
Yeah, with this much MP and this much HP, and had the spell of heal, the scorpions do not have that much more hit points than a magician, and are worth double the experience. So really, they should not be running from those. The scorpions will do more damage, but not enough to make not enough that they can't overwrite that with their heal, and with their heals.
Yeah.
But as being said in chat, you really want to think about going through Swamp at this point, seeing what's there, because literally neither of our runners has gone a screen to the east where the castle's not in view. And you never know if there's a town sitting right there. Or on the other side, you know, they just looked at the edge of the swamp and you go straight through that, and you never know what's going to be there. Now, maybe you go there, nothing's there, you go to the east, nothing's there, you've wasted a minute or two and find out, okay, I'm going to have to deal with this. But that's not going to put you behind that much in general, and on the other side, if there is something there, you rocket ahead and don't have to deal with these chip fights again. So definitely, Game Boy F9, who was a two-time tournament champion in this randomizer, has said that winners cross swamps. That's one of his big mottos, and it is indeed something I would recommend in this seed.
I have never heard that one, but interesting.
The thought behind it is people are turned off by swamp because they don't want to take the extra damage. They're worried about, dying or whatever, and so they'll steer clear of it. And oftentimes going into swamp will show you another piece of land, or you'll find a town in swamp, you'll find a cave, you'll find something that your opponent will not if you are willing to cross that swamp. If there's nothing there, so be it. You're going to still go the same path your opponent did. But your opponent's probably going to put that swamp off till much later. And so if you can get that extra exploration that you know your opponent's unlikely to get, it can really boost you forward.
Whoever said that never played Big Swamp. But I mean, it would at least be interesting to go deep enough to see what's on the other side. Even if you don't necessarily want to go over there yet.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, you are taking over a minute to get 8 experience points. And instead, you could spend that minute getting a decent amount of exploration around here and giving yourself the opportunity for something to break you out. Whereas now, if you're doing, if we're looking at VaeluV's side, you've got 41 or 39 experience to go, so that's what, 8 more magicians? Or 9 more, 5 more magicians, so you're looking at another 5 minutes of grinding to hope you get off the ground here. You've got that cursed belt, so you have the money to turn into something if you run into a town. I would highly recommend crossing the swamp in this scenario and just checking it out.
Oh, for sure. Also, maybe VaeluV's gonna do that. Okay, there's something over here that's not more swamp. Let's see if it leads. Oh, it's a dead end.
But it is a desert in... Oh, you should stay there. That was Zone 1. If you're in Zone 1, you could potentially come into encounters that you wouldn't have otherwise, meaning you might be able to get red slime ghosts, or you might be able to get ghosts and drakies in here. And if you can get a zone that has ghosts and drakies, you're going to rock it up a lot faster than you are sitting here in this zone right now. So I wish he'd stayed over there and checked out what those Zone 1 monsters are. Also, if you cross the swamp over here, you could check those Zone 1 monsters out in the forest tiles east of the little
So how
water.
do you know they're gonna be Zone 1?
Well, so the castle is in Zone 0. There's a 15 by 15 square, and we saw when he went a little bit southeast of the castle, we ran into a Druid Lord, which is not from Zone 1 or 2. So the zones east and west of the starting zone are Zone 1. The zones north and south of the starting zone are Zone 2. And so, knowing that the castle is in Zone 0, if you're traveling 20 tiles to the west, knowing it's on the east side of Zone 0, you're traveling 25 tiles to the west, you know you're going to be in Zone 1 as long as you don't go south of that castle. And it looks to me, I'm not sure exactly how far down the Zone 0 is going to go in this one, but you saw a Druid. A Druid can't be in Zone 0, so you know you're in Zones 1 or 2, and based on how far west you went, you're going to know that's Zone 1 because Zone 2 won't go that far west. And VaeluV is finally branching out to go check out this side of the world, which is still continuing to be a whole big pile of nothing. But he sees another Druid from this Zone 1.
Was it Druid or Druid Lord that had the fire?
It was the Druid Lord that had the fire breath. And now we have gotten ourselves out of Zone 1 and are into the complete open randomized monster sets. A green dragon says no, and it does look like crossing the swamp is not going to be our ticket out of here, unfortunately, but I do think that he made the right decision by trying. I don't think it's going to set him behind them that far.
Yeah.
Because frankly, let's say Fitzentoaster gets 10 strength here. Yeah, you can grind on these scorpions, you can grind on the magicians, but this isn't going to break the seat open for him, unless he gets hurt more. Getting this extra little bit. And obviously it doesn't always pay off, but had there been something there, and there was, non-zero odds, VaeluV would have just shot ahead.
Yep. Man, we could be sitting here grinding for a while, though.
Yeah, the good news is that... Oh, never mind. Because of the HP, Fitzentoaster opts to run from the magician, and he looks to be wanting to get the remainder of his experience just on the slimes and red slimes. He's 7 away, so that's not a horrible decision, but I do think it would be faster to go ahead and try the magician, and if you die, just take the resource refill that you're going to get anyway, and move on. In general, if you have a resource refill, I don't like the play of if you have a resource refill available, of running from battles because of resources. So that's a personal preference, but I think you want to be able to take as many battles as possible, and if resources are the thing in your way and you have a way to refill those, then you wanna focus on getting that refill quickly.
Also, Zarnax, we have seen nothing but we've seen Tantajol and some overworld stuff, and that's it.
We've seen as many towns.
We haven't seen a cave.
We've seen as many towns and caves as we have points of strength, as in none.
Oh my god.
But here we go with Fitzentoaster's level 5.
And we're going to level 6. Oh, goodness.
I don't know offhand what the Scorpion attack power is, but with this defense, definitely going at Scorpions is the right way to go about things now.
Yeah, oh my goodness. We're at 9 strength on level 5. Oh, I'm calling 0 strength on level 6.
This is the point where this is the point that gets really, really tough in the seed to decide. Oh, and we do see Fitzentoaster opting to go at the Scorpion and see what happens. So he missed, was trying to see if he was strong enough to hit it, and not. But VaeluV is branching off to the east, finding a bunch of nothing except for a bridge, and then continuing to find a bunch of nothing.
And another bridge, and probably some land off to the west. Looks like maybe a bunch of mountains. We gotta find something somewhere nearby, though, right? Like, it can't just all be nothing. Eventually, we have to find something. Right?
The good news is, with 23 agility... Oh, hello, there's a Drakey. That is a big find.
Oh, yeah. Baby breath.
Yeah, baby breath's not something that's very lovely to see, but at least it's nice to get a little bit of experience while you're exploring. And we continue to get experience moved off. So, keep moving. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Another Drakey that's breathing fire on us. Oh, you know, this is actually... yeah, that's gonna probably send us home.
The Drakeys have 50% heal. That would have been obnoxious to find out. Fortunately, he swung past that enough times. Meanwhile, Fitzentoaster is finally braving the swamp and is gonna go check and see what's out here.
Yep. Finds another magician.
He was missing the magicians too much. He needed another one real fast.
Yeah. A fire Drakey, I like that. So, what's the experience for level 6?
165. So we are a long way from Kansas.
And we're not even guaranteed to get anything on 6.
I mean, eventually the odds of this staying low become so ridiculous that that you keep going. But honestly, if I get to level 6 and I have no ability to kill magicians, or even scorpions, I'm probably spending a lot of time just trying to explore and find something, figuring that if I lose 10 minutes to exploration and find something, it still probably pays off better than the 10 minutes of grinding it's going to take me to... Not even more than 10 minutes of grinding it's going to take me to get to the next level. I mean, we've been grinding now for 23 minutes, and we've got a little bit over 100 experience on Fitzentoaster's side. That's a long, long grind to get to 337.
Yeah, and I mean, we're at 23 minutes and we've barely left the starting area. Like, the furthest we've explored is a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah, I think the furthest thing we've explored, literally the only place we have left to go is basically south of where we've already been. And because we've traveled west a bit, we know there's nothing for a little bit. Until, oh, look at that! Look at that!
Oh.
Toaster across the swamp, found a town, and it is Cantlin!
Cantlin!
He can sell that cursed belt, get a copper sword, and is completely out of jail.
Just gonna check cave first. Hurt on a wolf.
I would have definitely recommended against that course of action, because he was
almost threw on the cursed belt.
I don't think he's thinking about the cursed belt being a being usable for gear, because he's completely past the town and is trying to I'm not sure what the goal is here, but it looks like he's trying to death warp.
By torches, by torches, by torches, by torches, up Twin G says.
Yeah, you sell that, you buy a copper sword, you buy torches, maybe a couple fairy waters, and you get the next level so fast. Unfortunately, Fitzentoaster is a newer runner, and as such, the idea of cursed belts being money and not just information, it can be something that's easy to lose. Beyond that, even a veteran, after 25 minutes of mindless grinding, can probably be off their A game at that point and be like, oh yay, a town, oh no money. But he did have 100 gold, so you could at least look for a club. A club by itself all of a sudden makes a magician's doable and improves things dramatically.
Yeah. Is this how most people feel when they are like 20 minutes into a slog seed that I roll?
I mean, it depends what kind of slog it is. If I have monsters that are easy to down, but it's just my stats aren't there, it's less obnoxious. If I can't find the monsters to even kill, that becomes a little more challenging. And then if when you go out and get immediately met with like super death, with DL2 breathing Druid Lords and green dragons and blue dragons that are not going to let you pass very frequently at all at this level, then it starts getting a little obnoxious. You kind of have to have the perfect storm to make it one that really puts you in a bad spot. And this is that perfect storm. This is one where at this point I'm sitting there thinking, what could I have possibly done differently? The good news for VaeluV is he knows exactly where the out is. He is going to go... Oh, he's going to check for Zone 1 now, right here against the swamp, I think. And he finds a skeleton.
Vertical, I'm pretty sure I've restreamed at least one of your matches.
We did. Fitzentoaster went across that swamp to the south, or went all the way around this little river, went across the swamp to the south, and found Cantlin, and then went in, immediately back out, went to a cave that was about 3 tiles away, checked it. He was facing east, so I'm assuming it's tablet or mountain, and then left and wandered off and death warped on a skeleton. So I'm not sure exactly what he was thinking at that point. Again, you could buy torches there, he had 100 gold, could have looked for gear, but again, you're 25 minutes into a seed, and you've gained this much strength, and are able to kill this much stuff, and your brain just starts going to mush. So I certainly can't blame someone for having that kind of decision. And that's kind of what goes back to what I said earlier. One of the most important skills to learn, which is so hard, is how to not go on tilt in a seed that acts like this.
Yeah. God, it's so painful. I mean, it's painful from the booth, and I imagine it's even more painful to those enduring that race to have to sit there for 30 minutes doing more or less nothing.
I still am surprised that our runners are not, or at least I haven't seen Fitz go after him. I could be wrong on that, but at least that VaeluV is not going after scorpions right now. Scorpions again are double the experience of magicians and don't require that many more hits. Now it's possible they have a hidden skill that's causing heal or heal more that makes them non-viable, but I would not be running from them when I have 8 heals in my pocket.
Yeah, why are they fleeing in terror from scorpions? Did scorpions have something? Can we check the scorpion stats? Fight and fight, so it certainly wasn't some ability.
So I think that's 3 HP more than the max magician hit points. And
Also, wait, how do scorpions have 15 or 16 stop spell resist? I thought max was 9 now.
If a monster does not have a skill, then it will have a 15 out of 16 stop spell resist. If it has skills, then it will roll between 0 and 9 based on its ID and randomness.
Fair enough.
So often if you go to a monster and you throw a preemptive stop spell out there and it misses, you can use that as an indicator that they're likely to not have any skills. Obviously, if they roll high enough, then you can still miss it, but that is something that's nice to do sometimes. You can throw out a preemptive stop spell to see that.
So, Fitzentoaster about 24 points away from level 6. Make that 8. Or no, that was gold. Never mind. I always mix up the gold and the XP because I think they're flipped in the from the left side it's XP or gold then XP I think, and on the stats it's XP then gold. I'm betting it's 0 strength at level 6.
Up to and G made a point in chat that I actually hadn't considered because I didn't actually know the threshold. I don't know the starting stats for monsters other than Drakeys and Ghosts because of how often it comes up, but at 8 strength, that is that magic point where you actually only hit 1/3 of the time rather than 1/2 of the time. And now Fitzentoaster at 9 strength is hitting 75% of the time, which is why he's able to kill magicians at a nicer clip. But because of that 33% on magicians, you'll actually have to swing on average less against scorpions than magicians in order to defeat them.
So, and I mean no offense to either runner by this, but I think that VaeluV's more experienced in comms and tracking than running, and Fitzen, I do believe this is his first tournament. They probably don't have all those nuances memorized.
VaeluV has been this is I think his 4th tournament at this point, so he's well enough knowledgeable, but he doesn't play an awful lot on the side, and these are nuances that a lot of people don't know because they are just things that we happen upon discussing on Discord from time to time, and it just kind of gets shared as knowledge when it comes up, but they are not high priority things to learn. And honestly, like I said, I didn't know exactly where the cutoff was for magicians. I knew it was somewhere around here, but frankly, rarely am I at the situation where I have to consider chipping down magicians. So I wouldn't have even I don't know that I'd have even realized that I was in that zone.
Yeah. Also, Fitzentoaster rapidly approaching. I think this magician will give him the XP needed to get to level 6.
And while that happened, VaeluV got to level 5, so at least at this point he's going to be able to do the more consistent damage to magicians and catch up. But I really, really wish, knowing what we know, that he would branch out and go check out and go find Cantlin, because I think he'd really help himself out by doing that.
Yeah. But man, if I'm at 33 minutes and I'm seeing 9 strength, I feel real bad.
It is not a good feeling. I have been there before, and it's not fun.
All right, let's see this level.
What? And only stop spells, so no hurt, no damage spells. Oh my. Honestly, at this point, I'm surprised we haven't gotten a reroll request, but we apparently have not because nobody has been rerolling.
You have to have all runners in agreement, so... Man, I almost feel bad for them, and that's saying something.
Up2NG in chat points out that Fitz is actually near Copper Sword money, and a lot of times you feel like the 2 power from the bamboo pole or the 4 power from the club are irrelevant, and they usually are, and so you may not be thinking about them. And he may be thinking Copper Sword, so he was, well, I was going to say, so maybe he was saving up for that and then going to go back when he hit the 180, but it does not appear that heading back to Cantlin is high on his priority list at this moment, so not exactly sure what the plan is.
Probably things that can't be said on stream.
I'd look at that and be like, yep, those are definitely numbers. But they're not numbers you want to be seeing 35 minutes into a stream, for sure.
Great. Not super work things to say about that stat gain on 6.
So to answer GamerK in chat, yeah, we started with 5 strength. In 4 levels, we have evolved that into 9 strength. Our throne room was a fairy water and a cursed belt. They use the fairy water to kill magicians to get themselves off the ground, and they have that cursed belt still in their pocket if they want to sell it for resources. Outside of that, Fitzentoaster did find a town, but did not purchase anything, found a cave, but we didn't go and explore and see what it was, and then died shortly thereafter. VaeluV has not yet found that town, but the map is fairly linear, and so, or at least the part we've seen, and so he will, as soon as he branches out the next time, we'll end up at that town, but we'll see when that actually happens.
Yep. Hey, I mean, there is one upside to level 6. We no longer have red strength.
I mean, and you're doing guaranteed damage to a magician, though Fitzentoaster wanted to show all his might by pulling out the just crit strats against the magician and doing a mighty 7 damage.
Why are we still running from scorpions?
That
Why? I don't get it.
I mean, at that point, I want to be as generous to runners as possible, because you're in a situation where it's high stress, especially now. You are so stressed out and you just don't know what to do. But I do feel like it's a lack of experience that shows that not going out of scorpions. One of the main reasons you might think to do that is because scorpions, when you're swinging that low, your defense tends to be pretty low too, and scorpions hit a lot harder. And so typically when you're only doing chip damage, in 90% of seeds, when you're only doing chip damage, scorpions are not viable, because you can't chip them away enough to withstand the onslaught of 5 and 6 damage that they can throw at you. But once you've gotten this far, they do less damage, you have heal, you have a lot of HP, you can withstand that onslaught. But if you haven't been through enough of these seeds to deal with that, your brain immediately goes, scorpion, chip damage, nope, I'm done.
I mean, and this is nothing against Fitzen, but it's like, I can understand he's newer, but I would think Vaelu would have the experience to have, yeah.
I would agree. I'm a little bit surprised by this particular play, but again, we are 37 minutes into a seed at this point, and even though that was the thing 20 minutes ago, you may be thinking, okay, well, those are difficult, but I'll just worry about that at the next level. And okay, no, I'll worry about that at the next level. And then you get to this level, and at this point your brain is so fried, you're like, I don't know what to do, and you just remembered that you've been running from scorpions, so there must be a reason I was doing that, and like, I can't imagine how stressed I would be at this point in time. Especially in VaeluV shoes, where we are 38 minutes in, and I have 127 experience. Just to kind of put that into perspective, that is 2 red slimes per minute, is basically what the experience total has come out to, and that is not a good feeling this far into a season.
Also, 337 for level 7. Sorry, yeah. So, we're not even a third of the way there. Or 2/3 of the way there, sorry. Actually. Yeah, we're barely a third of the way there on VaeluV's. Oh gosh, don't even say that, gamer. Imagine if magicians had DL2 breath.
Honestly, magicians with DL2 breath might have been the single best thing that could happen to our runners, because they wouldn't be sitting here grinding them. They would have gone off, found the town, and gotten gear, and used that to get gears because they had no other way out. I think if magicians had DL2 breath, our runners are probably on level 10 at this point.
So, I openly admit I love watching people squirm and suffer with bad seeds, but this is kind of getting to a point where I feel real bad for them.
And a lot of it, to me personally, is it depends on who is running the seed. I don't like seeing players who don't have, who are fairly new, or don't have a whole lot of races under their belt, having to deal with this kind of stuff. It's just stressful, and it's not as fun, because you just feel like, okay, I'm just going to lose this. I don't know what to do. Once you've played, I've probably played between 300 and 400 races in my time, and once you've played enough races, everything has, you've experienced most of everything, and you are able to kind of analyze what's going on a little more clearly, and be able to make some more interesting decisions. And so I would love to see like Beta Strep versus Up 2NG in a seed like this. That would be fun. Watching 2 veterans who really have a huge baseline of knowledge and tactics and whatever trying to pull together. That would be a lot of fun to watch. We do see Fitzentoaster going and buying a bamboo pole, which is a very, very good purchase. He doesn't look for the other shops. He goes ahead and leaves immediately. Doesn't sell his cursed belt, but he did get a bamboo pole, so that's at least a small upgrade over what he had. And now he can kill magicians with more. He can kill magicians a little better than he could before.
Also, Fitzen just ran from that wolf because it cast hurt, but it was hitting him for more than the hurt was.
Well, yeah, but he can't do enough damage to the wolf to... I mean, there is a world in which you consider stop spelling that wolf and just hoping for multiple crits to get it down. I mean, probably not now, but if you had that stop spell 3 levels ago, you could say, okay, well, this is going on. I can spend 5-6 minutes fighting this wolf and get 40 experience faster than I could grinding those five magicians. It's very rare that would be a useful plot plan, but it is a thing.
True. Yeah, I don't know. What's your strategy at this point, Tulo? You're the expert here.
Well, I mean, I'd said it earlier. I'd have been going. Well, I think that barring really, really bad luck, I would never sit here. I would probably never sit here and grind once I hit level 6. I would be going out and branching out and saying, this is going to take 15 minutes to grind to the next level. Surely I can find something or get just a single lucky run. Honestly, at this point, I might start pulling out manipulation strategies to make sure I can get to a town. I have done that before as well. So, I would...
That's a bit beyond either of these runners' capabilities, I'm pretty sure is safe to say.
But even that, with that way, I'm going to say I am going to find something that is going to break the seed open and is going to allow me to gain that experience faster than the time I lost not grinding. And I think that VaeluV started off really well with that. He kind of did this balance of, okay, I'm going to grind now, okay, now I'm going to explore, okay, now I'm going to grind, okay, now I'm going to explore. But unfortunately, he died right before the magic screen and hasn't gone back. Having just hit level 6, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gone back, but he may just be wanting to exhaust his resources real fast before running out, because he's pretty low. And so I would expect once he takes his next death, that he will... actually, he doesn't even seem to be waiting for the next death. He's going to go refill his MP and head off into the world, and I think this is going to pay off for him in spades.
Yeah, also, Lorgon, to catch you up, we've seen... we've got Swamp to the east, we've got Swamp to the west, there's nothing up north, there's nothing far down south. You have to go south a little and then west, and we have seen Cantlin and an unknown cave.
I think we have just found the, pinnacle of this seed is brutal. Now, Up to MG is encouraging our runners to go out and look for metal slimes so they can kill them.
Oh, and also 10 strength on level 6. That is the summary of this seed so far at 45 minutes in.
Yeah, and, well, what I think is an interesting dynamic in looking at that is it's not just the 10 strength, it is 10 strength, 200 agility, or 200 experience, and only 6 deaths, 5 or 6 deaths. Rarely do you have such low experience and simultaneously such low deaths. And it basically tells the story of the seed of, it's not that these monsters are killing us, it's that we literally have nothing to grind except for terrible monsters.
Yep. So we're now under 100 XP from level 7. Let's see, so that's 12 under, so that's 88 away. Or 80... No, hold on. I misread. No, 88. It's 88. I think.
Yeah, it's 88. VaeluV is now finally branching out, and he is going to head immediately west because he knows down is a dead end, and then, well, of course, here's a werewolf to pick him off immediately, but hopefully he'll keep pushing through that. He did. He's actually apparently saved his money. And so he doesn't know what's going to be out there, but he wants to take all that money that he's got and take it with him. I mean, that's 240 gold. That's a pretty big deal, especially if the first town he finds, if he's thinking if the first town he finds is like Rimeldar or something like that. That's a really big deal. And so let's keep going with that. But now he's going and fighting magicians again. So I am wondering if he's thinking, oh no, werewolves here, I've got to get the next level. I hope that's not what he's thinking, but it might be.
Yeah. Hopefully VaeluV sees the town soon.
I will say this may be a record for me personally in number of seeds where the runners are still grinding magicians. Or how far along we could be in a seed where the runners are still grinding magicians. Well, unless you're in Chaos Seed, but...
Yes. I mean, we did see that seed the other day where it was, what was it, an hour in before we left the starting island on one runner?
I mean, that happens sometimes, but usually there's at least something you can grind that's better than a magician. Honestly, the scorpions grind would... I'm willing to grind up to 7 on a scorpion. I'm not willing to grind up to 7 on a magician. I'm not willing to grind past 8 on a scorpion. I will be moving on past that.
So I'm kind of hoping level 7 has decent strength so we can, move past this ping. So, Guelph, I did not in fact roll this seed. It was Camion. But, I taught Camion well. I'm... Here's hoping for, like, 40 strength on level 7.
Yes, Brian, and to answer your question in chat, and we've checked everywhere. The only way past is going underneath the river here, going all the way around through the bridge, across and over. Everything else is dead-ended.
Yep. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think if I got to level 7 and I saw, like, ship strength, I might just rage quit, personally. Just be like, nah, I'm out of here, homie.
Well, that's where I'm surprised neither player has asked for reset. I guess the big thing is everybody's like, well, the next level surely the breakout level, so let's just go with that, and then I'll worry about it. Because it's not like this is hard in the classical sense of I can't get going. It's just my getting going is slower than vanilla.
You know, I gotta say, psychology is half of rando, though. Like, once a seed starts getting to you, it's rough. And I mean, even you were putting that out earlier. It's like, you gotta... You can't let a seed get to you. Oh... Apparently we're up to 6 XP per minimum pace, or per minute pace here. So, we're coming up on that level 7. We're going to be 25 now away. What does everybody think? What strength do you think we're gonna get?
You know, we're gonna get 1 or 30, and nothing in between.
I can't repeat that on stream, but I gotta agree with Simple Sarah's assessment.
Now, for those joking about losing a point of strength at the next level, there actually was a bug in an older version of the Randomizer, where on a big swamp seed at level 10, you could actually lose a hit point going from level 9 to 10. So that was always fun. It would say your HP have increased by 255, and you would look at your stats, and you'd have 1 less hit point than you did before.
Oh, they should add that back in.
I've suggested that before, that each level has its own random stats. They don't consistently increase, so you gotta say, alright, this is a borderline level, should I go, or should I take a chance the next, one could be go stats, or is the next one gonna be like level 3 stats?
Yep. Also, just a reminder, I did not roll this train wreck.
She says with massive disappointment in her voice.
Hey, I did you one worse that one time. I'm sure you have recollection of that.
Yeah, I know, and you don't want to be outdone here.
I don't think that seed can be outdone.
Now, again, this seed is obnoxious, but it's obnoxious in the, like I said, it's obnoxious in the vanilla sense of, come on, how much more do I have to kill just to go to the next zone and kill more things? And it's just taking forever. You'd be about 50 minutes in trying to get 337 experience in a vanilla Dragon Warrior seed. But this red slime is going to put Fitzentoaster over the top, so we are about to see the resolution of all of our hours of guessing.
It is
0!
Oh, no. No. How bad does it have to be that I'm like, no?
I have no words. All I have to say is after this is over, someone needs to post this in the Seeds of Torture channel in the Discord, because other people must play this seed.
You want to cry almost.
PNG has the right strategy. Now that you have sleep, just take off again and use that sleep to get yourself, past harder monsters.
No, when I see 0 strength at level 7, I just go forfeit and be like, here's your free win, bye.
Someone in chat said the video paused during the level up, so I believe that level up was 0, 1, 1, 2, and sleep.
Yeah. I mean, sleep is something, I guess, but... Ugh.
And Fitzentoaster finally comes across his first Strakey and is like, where were these things in the first half hour of the seed?
Yep. As new as Fitzen is, I don't... And I mean, even VaeluV maybe, because I don't understand the zones really either. I don't know if they know how zones work, in full. Is that...
I mean, it's possible, and it's also sometimes really hard to tell zone lines. And in this one, I couldn't tell exactly where Zone 1 Zone 0 versus Zone 2 was, because I thought the Druid Lord, we saw the Druid Lord, was kind of at this bottom part of the mountain. So I assumed that was actually Zone 2. But given that we've only seen Zone 0 type of enemies, I could be wrong on that. Now it's all Zone 2 can have all Zone 0 enemies, but I would have really loved to see what would happen if somebody went back and forth in the, we're
fighting the Scorpion! Maybe.
Oh, we are? We're just doing it with sleep. We're just afraid of the Scorpion's attack power, I guess, is the thing that was going on.
So how much HP does a Scorpion have?
Up to 13, so I think it rolls either from 10 to 13. So it's easy enough to get, and now I think Fitzentoaster finally fought one, is being hit for 3 by him, and is going, oh, these guys aren't that dangerous. And I'm wondering if he's going, oh my goodness, I could have been fighting these guys so much longer ago.
Possibly, but... so how much XP for... Is it 600 for level 8? I think.
600 for level 8, yes.
Oh, Lord of mercy. Also, yes, Fitzen has the bamboo pole.
And that is, just to put things in perspective, Fitzentoaster is 15 Scorpions away from the next level. So it's not quite as bad, because Scorpions are really rich in experience. But if you were to turn that to Magicians, you'd have to double it, so he'd be, 32, or not, 30 magicians away from the next level, which starts to get on the absurd area.
Oh god. Chat, who hurt you? Chat suggesting sword on coordinate 00.
You know, honestly, and I'm not joking here, if I'm in a situation like this, while I'm going to do this grind in this whole area, I would actually start considering searching the tiles in this area. Yeah, if you were to search everything, between the swamps, it would take out an extra maybe 2-3 minutes to your grind, and yet you would have knocked off, 1%, 2% of the map, which, granted, low odds, but given how horrible everything has been so far, if you just randomly happen to search for the armor 2 steps away from the castle, I mean, just imagine how amazing that would be.
Yeah, also, chat asking for a recap. So, we are almost an hour in. We have seen very little in the way of strength. We've seen Cantland. We have seen a cave that we don't know what it is, I don't believe. Nothing is to the north, nothing is to the far south. You have to go down and west. And yeah, magicians. Magicians are the story of the seed.
The post-game stats for the player that finishes the seed will be very interesting. And the reason I say for the player that finishes the seed is I have a lot of trouble imagining whoever is not the winner of this seed decides to continue on with the dive or continue on with the seed and is not just ready to say, okay, thank you. They're probably both already staring at the race time room asking the other person to put them out of their misery.
I mean, and in a race where you're looking at potentially advancing, like, that'd be different, but at least for me, if nothing's in it but the internet points, I'm out of here. Like, I probably would have been gone half an hour ago.
So I'm just gonna bring this up for the fun of it. If a race finishes inside of a second between the two racers, then they go to a tiebreaker race. That's happened one time in Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament history. The tiebreaker race is actually a race to the first to 1,000 experience. And I was just imagining if this were the tiebreaker race instead.
What is wrong with you? Oh. Why would you wish that on them?
I'm not saying I would wish that on them. I'm saying it would have been really entertaining if that were the context of this. I would enjoy it thoroughly. That's all I'm saying.
Also, I do want to point out, for that one time that there was a tiebreaker, I was there both for the seat that had the tie and the tiebreaker.
That tiebreaker seed was actually really long in and of itself.
Yeah. Also, yeah, that's a good question. We don't have a forfeit, I can say that much.
It is really sad to think, hey, I'm an hour in, and maybe my best chance of winning within a reasonable time frame is to ask for a reroll and start a new seed from the very beginning, because I could probably finish that sooner than I'd be able to finish this one with an extra hour of grinding put in place.
So, I just want to take a moment to note, I am currently looking at Fitzentoaster's stream. His stream is not frozen. He is just sitting there on that screen. Because his timer's still running.
he just had to get up and walk away from the screen for a minute because maybe let off a little bit of steam, There we go. Now we're back.
Yep.
And VaeluV is 2 magicians away from hitting level 7 and having to take his own lyrical break.
I gotta ask, is there any limit to at what point you can ask for a reroll, or is it just until the first person finishes?
It's been a while since I've been in the administration, but when I was there, the rule is that you can ask for a reroll at any time, but you cannot rescind the reroll request. So you can't put out a reroll and be like, I want a reroll, and then you 2 minutes later happen to find Erdrick's sword and be like, never mind, I don't want to. Because the idea of the reroll is, hey, this seat is fundamentally unfair, we should go on to another one. But I don't, so there, it doesn't rescind at any point, but it can be asked for at any point. So that does mean, theoretically, by those rules, and I don't know if that's the rules we're still playing by, but one of them could have asked for a reroll 15 minutes in, and someone else asked for a reroll an hour in, and they would theoretically be granted that.
Brian Williams, an admin, confirming you can ask for a reroll up until somebody finishes. Thank you. Oh my.
So it's worth noting that this magician, which VaeluV just crit for a mighty 6, will take him to level 7. He will get his 0 strength, his 0, 1, 1, 2 level of his own, sleep. He will probably immediately go to the castle, heal, save, because this magician also, when he killed it, he's basically in hand axe range. And so I imagine that he will probably take a little more of an adventure out to go see if he can spend that money, because if you can go out now, you could buy a copper sword, a hand axe, maybe a shield, a chainmail. There's so many things you could do with that money right now if you can find something, and you want to take your chances of giving yourself several minutes to try to find that, knowing if you find any of those, you just cut half the time off your grind.
Yep. And yep, gonna go save.
Of course, I said that when VaeluV had 100 or 180 gold at the last level, and he tried one time, died, and decided to quit. So I don't know what he'll do, but he's at least going to try to start off.
So apparently Handax was in Cantlin's top up. So, yeah. And we're 156 experience from level 8.
But if you buy a hand axe, you can now kill these, you can now start killing these skeletons. You can also potentially stop spell and kill the wolves, which are near town, so you're definitely in great shape. I think that actually may still be in Zone 2 in that area, so you can actually grind pretty safely. Meanwhile, VaeluV comes across our first ghost sighting of the day, and takes it down, but you gotta go, where was this in this zone? If we'd had ghosts earlier, this would have been much, much more palatable.
Yeah. But, rando, I think, is, the story of this. Also, really, are we gonna... Oh, we get away!
The good news is, even if he hadn't gotten away, he now knows there's a town here. He was never going to stop and grind again until he got there.
I thought Vaelu already knew that Cantlin was here.
No, VaeluV had never gone far enough to know there was a town in the first place. It was only Fitzentoaster was the only person who had ever seen it. So here comes the hand at purchase, and kaboom! VaeluV is off to the races. And to answer chat, yeah, VaeluV feels mega behind because he could have been in this town with, he may be going to sell he's probably selling his cursed belt right now, and will be looking to see what else he can buy when he does that. He'll probably sell his cursed belt for herbs here.
Buying some torches, that's not a bad idea.
He may have forgotten he has a cursed belt at this point.
I mean, I know I would. This is an hour and some odd minutes later after we got that cursed belt. Alright, is the swamp south?
Swamp south. We do have outside, so you could use outside and hope to outside into Garanham. We've had outside since level 1, so theoretically, if Garanham is on the other side of this with something, then they had the opportunity to have that something a long time ago. But of course,
Also-
the poltergeists have sleep.
Also, up to Andrew saying that you just saw it in his inventory. I mean, yes, but at the same time, are you actually, like, fully paying attention to that to the point where it occurred to anybody at this point that, oh, I can sell that cursed belt?
And
I don't
VaeluV
think-
menus a swing, and Golem kicks in now for 55. He's gone. I don't think he'll be heading back, but he may head off to the next zone and start killing Druids or something. Or he may just take all his anger out on Scorpions. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what he does from here, but he can now kill lots and lots of stuff.
Has Vader not seen that there's nothing? Oh, Ghost. Hey. Also, all 3 shields in the Cantlin shop, along with a bamboo pole, a hand axe, and a flame sword.
And now Fitzentoaster finally going around to check the other shop. We'll see if there's a copper sorted there for him.
There is not. There's
but
a club.
a club and some clothes.
Yep. Oof.
Now again, there's this zone of death over here with the green dragons and the werewolves and the blue dragons, but if you can get past it, then you end up in this nice zone that has wolves and skeletons, well, and poltergeists, which we found out are nasty, but you could theoretically stop spell them and not have to worry about the sleep, and you've got a really nice grind zone, but you have to get past this little zone of death right here with the blue dragons first.
Well, it looks like Bailu's going back to the cave, potentially. Oh no, maybe going to go check out the rest of the world. Okay.
Excellent dodge by the Magidrakey. He's finally like, I can kill things now, and then the Magidrakey's like, nope.
Oh, that is not what you want to see. That is not what you want to see.
Yeah, VaeluV realizes this zone is that zone 2 and is ready to go at it. The wolves may be still above his pay grade, but he has the money to. Is he gonna throw torches at him? I'm wondering. He has the money to buy a couple fairy waters. He could throw torches at them. There are ways to get those wolves down reasonably fast, and they give you 60 gold, which is enough to buy another fairy water and multiple torches. So you could continue to rotate that if you needed to.
You know, I just want to take a second to appreciate. It's kind of really sad that Hand Axe feels so good on level 7.
That, and you couple that with, yay, I can finally do guaranteed damage to skeletons. That's not something you want to feel an hour and 10 minutes into the seed. I have a hand axe, so now I can do damage to some of the most basic of monsters.
I'm laughing, but it's kind of one of those laughs where I just want to cry. Going to Kenton? Oh, maybe gonna buy something?
Yeah, he saw that small shield earlier and didn't have the funds to purchase it, or didn't realize he had the funds to purchase it with the cursed belt, and so he's gonna buy that, and now he's probably gonna buy a fairy water. He wants some, and then he's gonna go back and buy some torches, and no, he's gonna walk right out. But he's probably thinking to use that to deal with that wolf.
Yeah. Also, Ebenezer, yes. Level 7 after 70 minutes, and we've seen one town and one cave. We know it's Swamp and Cantlin, and yeah, that's about it. And no strength hardly at all.
Yeah, the fact that we started with only 1 strength more than what the minimum possible is, and we followed that up with gaining 5 more strength over 6 levels is just absolutely stunning. The statistical likelihood of level 7 being quite this bad has got to be ridiculously low. VaeluV should probably be healing himself, but he did get down that wolf with the fairy water and the torches.
Also, we are a little over 50 points away from getting, or actually no, 44 points left to get to level 8 on Fitzen, 112 from 8 on VaeluV. Sorry, my voice not wanting to cooperate.
VaeluV finally did sell his cursed belt. He's loading up on torches. I'm wondering when he's going to stop the torch purchase so he can buy fairy waters. He may finish up his torches first, but he'll be able to buy a few fairy waters, go out and get a wolf, kill the wolf, be able to purchase another fairy water with that, and he's probably trying to buy enough torches to get him to 2 fairy waters left, is my guess. Or he's just filling up with torches. I mean, there's an argument to me for filling up with torches, because fairy waters are very expensive, and 2 torches can do as much damage as 1 fairy water can. And so he may be thinking, well, let's just throw torches at this stuff because it's cheaper. You know, you do at least at some point have to... at some point, you have to be able to afford the weapons you're throwing out at those wolves, and you can buy enough torches to kill a wolf with the amount of money you get from killing a wolf.
Yeah. Also, you know, with Talos point in chat, I'd honestly feel like I hit the jackpot if I find the fighter's ring right now.
Yeah, it's not often the fighter's ring increases your attack power by 20%.
Yeah.
But here we are. I have had the question: if we had had the death necklace in the treasury, at what point do you think about equipping it to? Yes, I know there's no town to heal nearby, but
yeah, that is that hurts to even think about. I think we started with healer. It was very early, at least.
it was either... I don't think it was level 1, but I think it was level 2. I could be wrong about that. What did we just see as the strength gain?
One wants your Let me go die in a corner, please.
This is epic. Again, I so wish this were Beta Strep versus Up to NG. That would be the maximum amount of intrigue to me.
Oh, no. Gambo, I mean, VaeluV put his starting name as... It was something like Hey Math Girl or something, and yeah, chat was wondering earlier, it's like, I wonder if he still thinks that.
Also, if somebody could get this game, I know, because he doesn't watch much of these, if someone could get this game to NES Cardinality, I would very much enjoy watching him attempting this on Seed.
Oh, I would love to see him or Beta or somebody play this and just see what to do with this mess.
To answer Mr. Bus Driver in chat, there is no technical limit to the max level for ghost stats. Other than the fact that level 30 is the max level you could get. Theoretically, it is possible that a seed could not go at that point, but statistically, that's never going to happen. But the highest tournament race I have ever seen to get to ghost stats is level 21. Every game that intentionally tried to win has, as far as I'm aware, has stopped at 21. We have had casual races that have gone to 23 that I am aware of, but rarely do you get into the 20s.
So that raises another question for chat and for you, Kilo. What level do we get to where we finally get more than 5 strength on a single link level?
My question is more interesting. Do we actually get strength, or do we get hurt more first? Like, I'm interested to know if we're gonna be at like level 13, have 14 strength, but have finally get hurt more.
I want to see 16 have hurt and hurt more. And still have marginal strength.
My interest in that is directly related to who is playing the seed. I would not wish that upon these people, but there are many people in the community, many of the more experienced veterans of this community, who I would gladly wish it upon.
Here's the better question. At what point do you ask for a reroll in this? Like, at what point would you have done so? Hey, there's a beta strip.
Hey, beta strip shows. A wild beta strip appears. Command. But that's a hard thing to say, because this is the kind of seed that I would actually enjoy. In the sense of, I actually really like slog seeds in races, because I feel in general like over enough time I can make good enough decisions to offset poor luck that I might have come across. Now, this could take that to extremes, but I tend to prefer slog seeds, especially against less experienced runners, because, like I said, I feel like I can out-execute them over a longer period of time. So I probably wouldn't ask for a reroll. I generally don't like to ask for rerolls if the seed's beatable anyway. But I could see a lot of people having asked for rerolls already, or 20 minutes into the seed. Once you get to the level 4 and you've got nothing, that's when I think you ask for a reroll.
Yeah, and I mean, we're an hour and 20 minutes into this, and we've seen one cave and one pound, and more or less no strength. So, yeah, this is a thing.
One of the things that I'm kind of surprised that V hasn't done yet is to, because he went to Swamp Cave and he went walking across it, and I know it's been a million years, but they do have outside, and if you're in South Swamp Cave, casting outside takes you to the north. We haven't seen what's there. That could be Garenham, and that could have any number of things behind it. So, not going across Swamp Cave could be a crucial error. And interestingly enough, we now have the experience lead has about evened after all that. VaeluV found that nice zone, grinded a couple of wolves in there, and was able to make up that ground on Fitzentoaster. So now we're on even ground in exploration, we're on even ground in experience, not on even ground in equipment, which is, again, probably going to propel VaeluV a little bit more as we go on. But again, if there's Garenham in the back of this and Fitzentoaster finds Archer Sword, well, that doesn't matter. Nope, there's just a lot of swamp.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Why?
And he didn't heal himself, he just walked until he died. There is grass over there, we don't know what's over there, but we at least do know that it's not Garenham, so by not outsiding, nobody was hurt.
Oh.
I feel so bad for these guys. Like, oh man, I'm not even sure I've ever seen played a seed quite this bad. Maybe
Yes,
in Chaos, but that's about as far as it goes.
I think you're forgetting one very infamous seed called
Even in that one, you could at
AK-47.
least... The thing is, if AK-47s had that wombo combo, we at least knew it an hour and 20 minutes into the seed. We've seen one Arbored Knight. At least that one we were able to get off the ground and just have to deal with 3 hours of diving Charlock. Frankly, I'd rather deal with 3 hours of diving Charlock than 3 hours of grinding Magicians.
So, here's my counter argument to that. I would say I disagree for one major thing. This is not RNG. That was 99% RNG and 1% skill.
I mean, let's be real. I'm not sure how much 11 strength at level 8 isn't worse RNG or just as bad RNG as that horrific Charlock. This
Yes,
RNG
but
is pretty extreme.
I mean, at least you know your opponent is dealing with the same RNG. So it's like, it's not like, oh, did somebody get a lucky dive into Charlock? Like, oh, I don't know, you did.
Yeah, I got that. Maybe having had that lucky dive made me less traumatized than I would have otherwise been. But it was an event. Meanwhile, we've seen VaeluV in that process of exploration. He is now just sitting here taking up this grind now that he's found the right spot to grind on, this nice little desert section where he's getting these enemies he's looking for, these Zone 2 enemies, and he has taken a 80-point lead in the experience league, which, generally speaking, 80 points is not very substantial an hour and 24 minutes into a seed, but this seed, that is most certainly substantial.
Also, Beta making a very painful hits home point. Apparently, our main stat is lagging behind Vanilla. That hits home hard.
So yeah, I just looked it up. At level 8, with the PayMathG name that VaeluV has chosen, you would have 22 strength in Vanilla. They have decidedly less than that.
They have exactly half of that. Oh. What would they be at level 5? What would their strength be in Vanilla?
They'd have 12 strength at level 5, so they have more Vanilla level 5 than they do now. That is not a good time for anybody.
Yeah, Vanilla, they're low. Oh my goodness.
It's a very rare seed where you wish you'd turned off the randomized stat gains.
Oh goodness.
You know, when I asked about these two players hopefully not having an agreement to grind to level 30, this seed may be forcing them to grind to level 30, and only then so that they have enough HP and MP that they can throw 3 Hurt Mores at the Dragon Lord, because they still can't do any damage to it.
So, since it's a technical possibility, I wonder, what does the rulebook say if we can't win at level 30?
Well, it goes back to what I would say, which is, you can always win at level 30 as long as you have the capability of throwing 3 Hurt Mores. Now, how long is it going to take for you to manage to dive where you can land those 3 Hurt Mores? That's a different question. But we will at least you at least have a theoretical shot to win as long as you have the stats to throw 3 Hurt Mores. And assuming their HP continues to go up, the last few levels, we've been focusing on the strength, but literally every stat has been 1 or 2 for the last 3 levels. So, that, maybe nothing goes up and they can't actually absorb a hit from the Dragon Lord. Who knows?
Actually, Chad asking, is this actually true that level 30 stats are vanilla?
No, level 30 stats are not vanilla. They are based upon particular polynomial curves that were developed for this, and they go. I don't know if they go beyond what vanilla does or not, but they are not the same caps as vanilla has. We were discussing that yesterday in the seed that went to 30, and I don't remember what numbers Brian gave us for what those caps are. So he's saying they are vanilla-ish.
So theoretically, worst case, you grind to 30 and you get all your stats there. I'm guessing that's kind of a fail-safe thrown in there that worst comes to worst, you can grind to 30.
Yeah, exactly. I can't imagine that ever happening. The statistical improbabilities are so low.
What are the probabilities of what we've had right now?
Still probably higher than that.
That's also true. We're guaranteed. Worst case, we grind to 16 and we get hurt and hurt more.
I mean, technically, as long as you have 17 MP, the game is winnable at level 16, because you can sleep the Dragon Lord and land 3 Hurtmers on him. I mean, granted, that's a 1 in, 65,000 chance of working, but it is theoretically possible.
Not to mention the odds of him actually staying asleep for those turns.
Oh yeah, so you gotta add that, so maybe 1 in 200,000? Something that easy. We've seen odds go well below that, usually when it comes to Beta Strep's run luck.
Oh, hey, is this a new town? And I thought I saw Sharlock there in the bottom left. But it was so brief I can't be certain.
Well, we saw Sharlock when they went across Swamp Cave. I'm imagining that's Tablet on VaeluV's site.
New town?
He decided not to dive it, which makes me think it's Tablet. He might be able to dive the mountain cave.
Ooh, sleep! Oh no.
Well, the good news is they have enough agility and defense that their defense breaking the poltergeist, so the sleep is more of a nuisance than it is an issue.
Well, I was more afraid it might throw out a 2 breath or something.
Fitzentoaster is going back to, I guess, grinding on scorpions now. I'm not sure what the plan is here. There is a school of thought for him specifically, where you could say, well, you should grind on the scorpions here to get enough gold to buy that hand axe, because this way you can stay alive the whole time.
Okay, let's see it. No. No.
41 MP and absolutely nothing to use it on!
We're on level 9 and 12 strength.
This seed is absolutely glorious.
Let's see what's here. Please be it. Oh, there's nothing! That's... Oh, no!
I would expect nothing less from this seed. But there is another town.
Oh my goodness. It's Dumbledore.
The first good thing that's happened to our runners in the seed.
Oh, what kind of... We're almost to the point where our strength equals... We're almost... Like, we have 3 more strength than we do level.
Yeah, that's a little bit beyond absurd. I don't know the last time I have had a seed where at level 9, a metal slime would still be refusing to run away from me. And this isn't on the border of that, like I had 19 the strength. This is I am, like, I could almost double my strength, and, still
Yeah,
wouldn't run.
that's a decent. I mean, you get 225 at this point from a metal slime.
I mean, to another way of it is if they had found a zone with metal slimes, they could have literally grinded like 5 of those before they,
Also,
or could be potentially even more, to get out of jail because they would continue to never run.
oh,
Good news is, as soon as... Speaking of metal slimes!
hey, we could actually kill this thing. He ain't gonna run.
Where's the DL2 breath?
We can actually kill this thing because it's not gonna run from us.
Ever since Scale Metal Slimes came into place, I don't think I've ever seen a 255 metal slime not run. And VaeluV goes, checks the stats. Can these things run from us? No, they can't. Alright, we're gonna hunt.
That's actually a decent idea. For what it's worth.
I think it's a great idea, but he's walking out of that zone. I think he wants to explore more. I think he's starting to realize there may be other things in this zone that are nasty, and I'd rather keep my exploration going on right now, because it can be hard to get here. I'd probably sit there in that zone for another medal and take my chances, but I can't blame him for walking away at this very moment. It's not like he's not getting any more experience at this point.
Yeah. Oh my word. Alright, let's see what's down here. That's a dead end. Axe Knight.
And the adventure ends now, but he does have the whole tentacle treasury to check and the back behind it as well, so hopefully he'll be able to find something of use to get him off the ground.
Up to and she's saying, I hate metal slimes and I'm never leaving that zone in this situation.
Yeah, you were calling for metal slimes like 40 minutes ago, too. Hey, there's that 2 extinction power!
Oh, that feels so good, but it feels so bad when... And the armor!
Fairy water... And the token.
Oh,
The armor is big, but it really doesn't help them get off the ground that much. They haven't seen a lot of nasty skills. They have a million, they already have a million skills at their disposal, so, and their defense breaking, most of the things are doing a decent amount of reducing the defense a decent amount on the monsters they're already seeing. So while Erdrick's armor is obviously very nice always, I don't know how much it helps you get off the ground by itself right now.
I saw Erdrick's and it's like, oh, is that this...
Also worth note that there was no gold in that treasury.
Yep.
So this is the mountain cave. The other cave he saw was the talent cave, and this one is the mountain. So we'll see what he can find here, but he could set up a gold grind here. We do know that we had that silver shield in Cantlin, and I don't remember, I think we saw a flame sword as well. So that's really nice. The warlocks here have stop spell, which is really nice because he has Erdrick's armor, and Erdrick's armor makes you immune to stop spell. So already things are looking a whole lot better.
Also, chat saying could be a race to the sword. But here's the thing, you're already an hour and 36 minutes in. If you find sword right now, how far behind do you feel?
Well, I don't think there's literally anything that could happen in this seed that would make me feel further behind than I already feel if I'm in one of these two runner shoes. Like, I don't think it's possible to feel more behind than these two runners do, given how absolutely brutal this whole thing has been to them.
I mean, but then at least my mind goes to, oh no, what if my opponent found Rimeldar and it's, right here in the basement of Tanagel.
Honestly, at this point in the seed, I'm saying I hope my opponent found all those things and is about to done so I can forfeit. But I will note that VaeluV did just find the flute on the top floor of the mountain cave. Could be useful because we did see him die to a golem on the swamp cave, which is the same zone as the top of the mountain. So it's possible he can make use of this in order to get down to the second floor.
Also, did Vaelu toss out the flute? No, he kept the flute.
Yeah, he picked it up, and now he's able to throw it out at this, or he's able to use it on this golem, which is going to allow him to escape. So picking up that fairy flute turned out to be quite useful for him. Now the Axe Knight that refused to let him go before, we'll see if he lets him go this time.
So trails, a Ash of the Seed so far. We about for an hour and 20 or so odd minutes, we had seen Tantagel, Swamp South, gotten a brief peek at the other side of Swamp to see it was covered in swamp, and saw Cantlin. We have since found Rimeldar and Cole, which had nothing. Rimeldar had an herb, and then the Treasury had armor and fighter's ring and token, and we found Mountain in the basement. And strength is non-existent. I think that's the story of the seed, right?
That about covers it. I'm not sure. I didn't notice it. I know Fitzentoaster just got to level 9 and he's wandering off. He has enough hand axe money. I don't know if he saved before he left off though. So chat may be able to tell us, or we hopefully gets him to gets to the town before getting knocked away by something really, really nasty. But he does have the money to get that hand axe if he can get to Cantlin with this 500 or with 600 gold.
Yep. Oh, also we found a tablet cave, I think, over there somewhere.
And he's walking right past the town. Intriguing.
Oh, that was Cantlin, wasn't it?
It was, and he has hand axe money. And so, right now he's only carrying the club, so it really helped him out dramatically to have purchased that hand axe before he continued wandering off.
Oh, and we found Flute in Mountain. So yeah, yeah. We're 12 strength at level 9.
And we're 100 minutes into the seed with 12 strength at level 9.
Yeah. Yeah, just let that one settle in there.
So Fitzentoaster is coming across Tablet Cave right now. He does have a torch, so we're going to see what's in the bottom of that. Maybe that sword, and it completely blows things open for him.
So, I think 1500 is level 10, right?
That's correct. VaeluV has a gold grind set up in the mountain cave. Now, I'm not sure which chest this is. I think this is just chest 2. I might be inclined to wait until I get to chest 5 before I start this up, or alternatively, grind double. I don't think I'm worrying about the speed of the grind right now, given the way the seed has gone. I'm willing to take my time to get the best stuff I can get, and take every precaution to make sure I get that opportunity.
Yep. And we did see a flame sword and a silver shield. Just for reference. So...
And Tablet was gold only, so Fitzentoaster still not in great shape in that thing. But he did that gold. He already had it, but that gold is definitely going to allow him to buy some keys when he gets to Rimeldar, and so that'll hopefully help him get off the ground a little bit. He'll get the armor and can set up this gold grind as well. He comes across his metal slime, so he's about to get a big experience boost.
Yep, and
oh, that tail! No! Oh, poor Fitz! Poor Fitz!
I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh, it has such a feel which doesn't matter 25 down to her. Oh my word. I still think my AK-47 seed was worse, but this is definitely up there.
So VaeluV is now on his way to chest 5, and we'll see what happens there.
So, about that grinding metal slimes idea.
That was either a fairy water or a torch, I think. It was a torch.
Also, that feeling when excellent move doesn't kill skeleton.
So VaeluV opted not to grind for the silver shield, is what it's looking like. Or, at least that's how I'm reading that, because I think he tried to grind for double the flame sword, and not the silver shield, which I get the idea of I don't want to grind double flame and silver, but I would have at least grinded enough to get both of them, and then if you die, you still have enough for that flame sword. The option to not grind silver is intriguing to me.
Beta's got a decent point. 25% DL2 breath is still worth the risk of considering what other options we've got.
I mean, you're not wrong. That's definitely true.
That's so sad. That's so sad when you're like, my best option is an enemy who has Dragon Lord 2 breath.
I mean, I did have a seed earlier in the tournament, which I believe I don't remember if you rolled it or if Cyberdark rolled it, but yeah, there was I kept swinging at Drakeys that had 50% DL2 breath that I was doing 1 damage to, hoping that I could actually hit them 5 times because that was one of my best chances of getting off the ground. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, but it's like that's a painful level of desperation to be at level 9 and be like, my best option is a enemy with DL2 breath.
Yeah, at level 9 you never want your best enemy to be one that can still one-shot you. VaeluV does die to the Green Dragon, but since he did have that double Flamesword money, he can go and save his game right now, make sure he's able to make that trip with the Flamesword. He's opting not to save his game. Interesting. Oh, actually, he's going to set up the gold grind now that he knows where everything is. He's going to set it up, get the full silver shield and Flamesword money, and go again.
It's a legit strat.
Which totally makes sense. He was thinking Fighter's Ring, but now that he's already lost that, or thinking Flamesword, and now he's already lost that, and now that he found there was no other gold chests, he decided to go back again. At this point, when you're talking about such a potential huge upgrade in terms of offense, I mean, he has 29 attack power right now. The Flamesword will be an additional 13, and so that's that's a massive increase in attack power. For what they've got right now, so I wouldn't even worry so much. At this point, I don't worry about the amount of time any grind takes me. Anything you can do to make guaranteed progress towards better gear is a good strategy.
Yeah. I mean, Beta puts it right. It's more than doubles his AP by perching a hand axe at level 9.
This is definitely a thing to behold, and anybody who is watching, just take a moment, breathe, take it all in. Just remember this experience of this seed, because it is not one you will see for a long time, and one of these days you're going to be like, man, I wish I could see something just even more frustrating than the seed I'm running right now, and you will have this to rely on.
Oh my.
Oh, hey, look, those Warlocks have DL2 breath hiding behind their stop spell. Fortunately for VaeluV, he has Erdrick's armor, and so he had 49 HP, so he managed to survive this Warlock.
Yep, and kills it. I mean, rules allow you to just forfeit as well. Like, you don't have to sit there and suffer.
We have had one seed in the Chaos tournament where both players were like this, were already out of contention. The race had gone for 3.5 hours. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning at that point, their time, and they said, okay, this doesn't matter. Let's just call it. And so they ended up having a draw. They both
I
finished at
think
0-2
I
and 1 in the games.
remember that.
That was, I
That
believe,
was either
it was Chitin and Captain Green, I believe, were the two runners.
my restream or Since, because I remember that.
But yeah, that was before the Winter League. That was actually the tournament that introduced me to Dragon Warrior Randomizer. That was back in 2018 that happened.
Yeah, that was my first. I came into DWR. It was either late spring or summer of 2018. Wow. Okay. There's our strength.
There's the level. We finally have broken out just an hour and 50 minutes into the seed. Now it's a jet.
Usually by now you would... Well, I mean, we're not even close to being able to tickle the Dragon Lord yet.
I just go for being able to tickle like a Wolf Lord at this point.
Wait, you mean that we're actually supposed to kill a final boss? What? Like, almost every seed by now you would be, if you're not already done, you're probably looking at finishing up your last couple things and going to Charlotte to kill the Dragon Lord.
It's also worth noting that that they did learn heal more at that level as well, and now they only have 66 HP, or at least VaeluV has 66 HP. Fitzentoaster will have a little more because he's got an HP build, but having heal more with all this MP that they have and nothing else really to do with it can allow you to take some lower chippy fights against some higher level monsters, so you could potentially handle, a Magi Wyvern or something like that. You've got sleep, you've got heal more, so you could eat a hit, and with the defense they're about to have with this stuff, you could eat hits, swing back, and still do, it's not quite chip damage, but do small little bits of damage to knights and Magi Wyverns and Wraith Knights and whatnot to actually really start to get off the ground here.
Also, that would be funny if they hit go mode early, quote unquote, and just give this to a runner and be like, it's leveled like go mode, and tell them nothing else. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be a jet. Yeah, about that.
Now, with everything, the strength has been lagging, and even with all the big gains we got, it's still pretty bad at level 10. But the agility is around what you'd expect at level 10, and with the Silver Shield, VaeluV is going to have his defense all the way up at 71, which is going to be defense breaking everything but Sharlock monsters, Knights, Demon Knights, and Magi Wyverns. And so there's going to be a lot of good things he can just start kind of, again, just hacking at. It's going to take, 3-4 hits to get anything down, even more if you're fighting something higher, but he at least can handle a lot of stuff and has better survivability now, which is going to really help him in terms of grinding. As soon as Fitzentoaster gets this level, he's going to be in good shape as well and be able to start kind of charging forward.
Hello, welcome, Karant. So, welcome to Hell. I'm your hostess, MathGirl718, and joining me as your host is Tilo. So, we're at 2 hours in almost, and we just got out of baby jail, basically, as far as strength goes.
And now VaeluV is going to check the coordinates, and we're going to find out if that searching around the castle early on would have paid off. I'm going to laugh so hard if it does.
And 38
wah, wah.
South, 64 West. I don't think that'd be rough to count. I don't think that's even on the first continent, probably.
It might be, because they do go, you go a little down, you go all the way to the east, and then have to go around and then go to the west. That might actually, oddly enough, be reverse countable. And the reason I say that is because in order to get to the bridge, you basically have to go all the way to the East Coast. And so when you know how far you are to the East Coast, then you can do the reverse count from that, because once you add that to the 64, it becomes reasonable. I would say, yeah, it's probably down somewhere near, like around a little south of Cole would be my guess. But I could be wrong. It could also be, depending on how things go, it could be west of Sharlock. They saw it going across the swamp cave, and that huge swamp, and maybe it's on the other side of that, or I'm not exactly sure. I think we're a little ways away from taking on any of the potential spike tile monsters guarding the princes, so we may just have to play the waiting game on that one. I think the best idea at this point is to go look for for Grave, excuse me. Because at this point, the only chests we haven't seen is Grave, Bonus Cave, and then the 2 search spots, the Overworld and Hawksness. I think that's the extent of the things we have. No, we haven't seen Garenham either. Man, there's a lot we haven't seen still.
Yeah, we're an hour and 54 minutes in, and yeah, I've seen Armor and Token, and yeah.
Oh, we just found caves.
Okay,
Here's our jerk.
Smashing
and a town.
Neon rolled. Stones. Let's see, what is here? We have torch. Okay.
And a star wyvern. And this is totally take-onable. I wasn't exactly sure what the swings would be at 69 attack power, but apparently it's enough that you can do... Oh, you shouldn't be swinging there, though. And you just swung more than... You have heal more. Ugh, that hurts.
I mean, what's your mental state at this point gotta be, though? Like, I would just not even hardly be able to think at this point.
Yeah, I was, a little critical of the runners an hour ago. At this point, I'm not going to blame anybody for any decision. I know I had one race where I took bad swings at Red Dragons twice and nearly lost because of that, because they both sent me home when I shouldn't have been taking that chance. Once you get far enough into a seed, your brain, at speed like this, your brain is mush, and it is hard to make optimal decisions. It is hard to be safe. You just want to kind of torch through and, and sometimes taking precautions feels like it's going to be too slow and you want to go as fast as possible. He is counting.
I think my mental state at this point is definitely, please not done so I can just put myself out of this misery.
He's making a landmark across the water to figure out exactly where he wants to go to. So it looks to me like it's 9 south of the castle that gets him right across the water. So still a ways to go, but at least that's the first landmark.
In before it's sword on coordinates. That feels so bad if that's the case. Like, it's so useful, but at the same time, like, I think any resolve I have to finish this seed, if I still have any at all, breaks if I see sword on coordinates. Oh.
So we do have Fitzentoaster moving in the direction of Rimmeldar and whatnot again. Hopefully he'll get past where he got the last time and be able to not get sent home by a metal slime and get to Rimmeldar. That was rough, because not only did he die to the metal slime that he, would have ordinarily gotten to kill, but that metal slime, he was right beside Cole and Rimmeldar. And with keys, you have the armor, you have the gold grind, and it's just really slowing him down by not having any of that.
Yep, also, I think VaeluV's got his bearings down, so it's gonna go continue onward.
I will note, I get really annoyed in seeds like this where I'm trying to count and I have the armor, because, it's hard to count the number of tiles you're just crossing in general, but when you cross the swamp and you get that pause and the flash for each one, or you're crossing the mountains and you get that one frame stutter that happens, it's really easy to keep your count and track with that. So you can cross those without having to do that little stutter step that you have to do other time. So now I lose all this time, whatever, because I have the armor. I always like to be finding the coordinates before the armor if I'm going to have to walk through huge amounts of swamp and have to count.
Does he need to go north and there's no way to go north? Is that the frustration walking back and forth I'm seeing?
I think he's trying to grind in this zone, and that's desert tiles, so they're high encounter.
Ah. Oh, it was VaeluV counting, never mind.
Yeah, it's hard to keep. Honestly, them using the exact same Dragon Warrior 4 sprite makes it really hard. I've been so trained to know if I see Ragnar on the screen that it's VaeluV, that it messes me up. I keep thinking he's on both screens. Meanwhile, VaeluV did run into a metal slime who decided to run away rather than torch him, because VaeluV does not yet know about the enjoyable fire breath that is hiding behind those weak little pokes. And on this count, he's coming across that town that he was at earlier, so he can go check it out to stop in the middle of it to go check that out if he wants to.
Aw, baby breath on a wyvern. Wyvern trying to be like its big brother.
I don't know if Fitzentoaster's taking on. Oh, he saw Druid Lord, thought I could do that, and then the Druid Lord showed him the fire breath that VaeluV saw about an hour and 58 minutes ago.
God, we're 2 hours in, and yeah.
Breckenary, you didn't miss anything.
I mean, there's nothing that could be here other than the end, because you already got Flame Sword, you got Silver Shield, you've got Erdrick's armor. There's nothing to buy.
Yeah, you are not spending... Well, unless you wanted Fairy Water, but I don't think you want to be repelling any monsters right now. You don't want to be taking on only the monsters with above 70 defense, or above 70 attack.
With the exception of maybe because you're trying to get to coordinates.
I mean, that's fair, but I think he has Fairy Water in his inventory anyway. Alright, now we get to see how far he's gonna go. Stones of Sunlight. Nice count, V.
Nice. That was a really rough count.
he happens off another town that we hadn't seen. That's Garanham. That's going to knock off 3 more chests plus the back, which has a reasonable probability at this point of being Grave. And so that could knock off every other chest we haven't found yet, and leave us only with Hawksness to think about last.
We still haven't seen Harp train in yet, I don't think.
Yeah, we haven't seen Harp trade in. That's correct. I was thinking of the. We have found the Harp.
Where's the Harp? Okay, there's Harp.
And Fitzentoaster, meanwhile, does finally get that magical level 10. So he'll at least be able to do a little more damage nowadays. Nothing else special in the back of Garanham. Let's see what is hiding behind behind Garanham. Is it going to be the Staff Trade-In Cave with a very, very lazy man inside of it? Yes, it is. V, you just picked up the harp. You should have turned. Oh no!
V, where are you going?
I wonder if it'll occur to him. He'll look at it later and be like, "Wait, I have the harp." I mean, he didn't have the harp until just now. And again, it cannot be understated just how much your brain is mush at this point. So it's easy to not be able to retain newly acquired information in exchange for the same thing you've been studying for the last hour and 45 minutes. And just because that's what you do in this seed, he got the next level off a Magician, which got him 2, 2, 6, and 0, like the other Magician.
Oh my lord. Another non-existent strength gain. I just want to point out, we've only had 1 strength gain that was more than 2.
That's mighty impressive when we've had 10 levels. So VaeluV finds the last cave in his list of stuff to find. The only things that he could find here of note are the sword and the death necklace. So we'll see how far he ends up going down here. Once he gets it, maybe he'll do a reevaluation of all his stuff and be like, wait, I have the harp. I found the harp cave. Hopefully he can remember where it was. I know I certainly have lost the cave behind Garanham a few times. I saw it. I know the cave somewhere around here. This is just Garanham. So hopefully he doesn't forget that and is able to find it soon. Meanwhile, Fitzentoaster unfortunately comes across Garanham without the keys in his inventory, so he is not able to acquire the Rapid Staff of Rain.
Oh, I mean, eventually we've got to see the level eventually, right? But hey, there's a death necklace.
He also found a cursed belt, which tells us without a doubt that Hawksness is guarding the sword. There's no reason to open up another chest. We have found 2 cursed belts, and we know that Cull is empty, and so that meant the coordinates and Hawksness have to be populated. And we found every other item, so there is no reason to dive the rest of the grave. There is no reason. There is no other chest to look for. You need to be finding Hawksness and killing it if you want the Erdrick sword, and then you are done with your exploration.
I mean, and I say this with no offense to the runners, but you really expect anybody to have the capacity to be able to think that far in advance right now, 2 hours into this seed?
Well, I think we saw that with VaeluV. He opened the other chests, he took a few steps, and then he was like, wait a second. You just saw this pause on the screen for a few seconds while he was thinking through that. I've seen that, I've done that, I've this and that. Okay, yeah, okay, let's go. And then he immediately casts outside and starts looking for Rimeldar. So he got there. It takes a long time to work through all the other stuff you've put in your brain at this point.
Also, I don't know. Maybe that was just a choice to gamble, because I just don't think Vaelu's realized he's got the harp yet.
That's actually a pretty astute observation right there. He may not realize that he may have just... I don't know, I can't imagine, though, he would make that decision to leave without checking the last 2 chests if he thinks the harp's outlying, so I think he knows he has the harp, he just wasn't processing. You know, I've done it before, walked in and said, oh, this is the jerk, I'll come back here once I find Staff Cave. Like, I've gotten the caves mixed up in my head like that too, and that may be what happened. He was reading it, so he was thinking jerk instead, and so he
yes,
just
we have
abandoned.
seen Sherlock. Sorry.
That's true, he has not seen Sherlock, because he never went across the swamp cave. I don't know if this is one continent or not, and if he'll be able to find Sherlock eventually, or if he has to go across the swamp cave. It'll be nice for them if across the swamp cave is the way to go, because it's so much faster coming home than coming to go all the way around this way.
So is it 3,000 for level 12? Is that what we're looking at?
Yep, 3,000 is the next level.
And we're still at 41. Oh my god.
And it's not like the other stats are just really doing well and we're just having a little bit of trouble with strength. Everything is really, really flatlined at this point. Yeah, we've got some MP, but we don't have a useful spell to cast with it. And so it's just brutal. Alright, I think VaeluV has cleared the first continent. He obviously forgot about the staff, but he has cleared the continent, so I think he's going to head across the swamp, and maybe that's where Hawksness and Sherlock are. Alright, well, we've seen Sherlock from there, I just don't know how to get there. I would assume, though, you get to Sherlock from the other side of the swamp, so we'll see.
Also, yeah, our MP is decent. Like, our MP is actually pretty good for being level 11. Our HP's not horrible either for being level 11. It's just, yeah. I mean, Agi's always low, let's be real here. But that's strength.
In general, when your attack power with the flame sword is less than your defense power, that's just not a good feeling.
And, I mean, we're looking at almost half of the defense power. Like, half would be 5 points less than our current strength. Oh, yeah, yeah. And yeah, this is rude. This is such a rude scene.
VaeluV is just grinding in this zone 2 to get those last little tiny bits of experience he needs to get to level 12. The game keeps throwing progressively weaker monsters at him, so he never gets there. It's like the Xenu's Paradox. And here we go. Now we just got to... we're gonna get our next level here on this wolf and see if our stats decide to give us anything, or if, because he's grinding on early game monsters again, he gets the early game stat gains again.
Let's see.
0!
Oh, why? Why?
I would say this seed giveth and this seed taketh away, but this seed giveth not.
It did give us one stat gain of 27.
Yeah, we've had 10 level ups for a combined, 10 points? If I because we had a 24 level, or 27 level up. That would take us to 14. Then there's the original
5 starts.
Wait, so is that... Wow.
We had 9 strength between 10 levels.
That's... Wow. And the game doesn't even give us Hurtmore to make up for it.
It's gonna be level 16 or more.
Okay.
I'm gonna be...
So does this whole section in the across the swamp cave actually cuts off? That is not a way we can go. There's no path to Sherlock or anything else from here. It's a small little dead-end continent, so he's gonna have to find another way around. in the overworld, or in the other side of the world that I guess he hadn't thought about yet. He is going to look at the spike tile, though, which will be an interesting thing. I mean, as mentioned in chat earlier, they could... a Stone Man is potentially doable. A Golem is potentially doable with the Fairy Flute. You could probably take on a Green Dragon at this point, but it's so slow that I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else you do, but I would at least, if you're doing this without Hurt More, I would want to find Hawksness and deal with that spike first to get the sword.
Yeah. And so 4125 for 13, right? Yeah. And I mean, at 9750 experience, we're guaranteed to get hurt more if nothing else goes right.
Yeah, we only need to triple our experience and then a little more here, and we've got Hurt More. And we can use that to grind. Well, so far we've gotten Stone Man. Given the way this seed has gone, I would expect nothing less than more. Well, no, I don't know. These Stone Men are casting Hurt. That's a little too easy. I think we need something a little more challenging. Like, for example, that Metal Slime that just toasted Fitzen again.
Oh, Fitzen's getting no luck with these medals. As far as...
He did see a heal on that Stone Man, which made him throw out a stop spell instead. Now, the good news is that stop spell resist is 0 out of 16, so those Stoneman fights are relatively free, given that they're going to, attack you a very low percentage of the time. Having said that, Stonemen have a lot of hit points, and we have very little power, and grinding those is very, very slow and probably not optimal. These Axe Knights, on the other hand, they're much better ideas, but I think he wanted to heal right there.
Yeah. I wish Empty Eye were in chat for this one, because I would love to get his opinion on so many 0 strength gains.
I think his voice would be hoarse from how many times he yelled, "I love it!"
I don't know if he'd still love it at this point, though.
He starts going from 0 strength, "I love it," to 0 strength. This is kind of amusing. 0 strength. Alright, I think the vid is done.
I mean, we've got to get a massive strength boost at some point, right? Like, we're looking at a 50-point strength boost somewhere up soon, right?
No. This is what, in seeds like this, because I've had seeds where I've had 41 strength at level 12. Given that 27, the absolute, anomalous nature of it is off. It's just how many bad stat games we had is what's so ridiculous. But I have had a lot of seeds like this where you just keep gaining levels and you get maybe 5, 6, 7 attack power and just keep getting that, which 5, 6, 7 attack power is nothing to sneeze at, but when you're this low, you just keep thinking, please let this be the level breakdown. Nope, we're just going to give you the closest borderline level we can give you. Alright, this one? No, we're just going to make it really questionable again. And it just keeps going on. Do I want to risk this one? Do I want to... The game can be really cruel like that. So I'm calling no double-digit power gain for the rest of the seed.
I mean, if no sooner, we have to get one at level 30, I think. Yes, I know how horrific that statement sounds.
All I can say is that I'm glad that this race has gotten a restream, because it would feel bad for these two to have to suffer alone and not have everybody just marveling at the atrocity that is being sent their way. Fitzentoaster has now found Rimeldar, so he's going to get his keys, which means he's going to get his armor soon. He's going to potentially be able to set up that gold grind, get the rest of his gear, and really be on his way. to do all the other stuff. He knows where Garanham is. He might be able to turn that into the Staff of Rain. So, he's definitely on his way to go. He's got a tall mountain to climb to make up the XP deficit and exploration deficit. But it's, given the way this seed's gone, anything can happen. So.
Also, I just kind of had a painful thought. Some runners don't like to forfeit if they're being restreamed. I hope they're not feeling obligated to play this through.
I have seen both these players forfeit in the past, so I do not believe that will be a concern for us. I think the best you'd see is if one finishes while the other one's diving, that other one will probably finish the dive, and if they win, they win. If they die, they forfeit, but, I used to be an I don't ever forfeit runner, and then I don't know when it stopped, but as soon as I started forfeiting, it was an amazingly freeing experience, and it was like, ha, let's forfeit!
So my general opinion is, I know I stink at speedrunning. I know it. And frankly, my opinion is, if it's gonna take me more than an hour after my last opponent finishes, why put the rest of the restream crew through that?
Yeah, in general, that's my thought nowadays as a runner, is I don't want to make the broadcast push any further. But even if I'm just running a casual race and it's not being broadcast, I tend to think, okay, once I'm diving Charlock, the interesting decisions are done. Now it's me doing the same thing that I've done 400 times. There's small little things to do, and I'll always want to bail out of Charlock, but once I've gone in, and if I have a bad Charlock dive or something, or in 1v1, and I know, okay, this is the Charlock, this is whatever, I'm ready to just say, okay, I'm done, because there's nothing else for me to gain out of pushing through this.
Yeah. Also, I mean, both of these runners are already out of contention for the next round. So this is purely for quote-unquote fun race.
Yeah, so I don't see either. Frankly, I don't see either one wanting to stick around to finish the seed if the other one finishes, unless, like I said, they're on a dive. And if they're both on the dive at the same time, that will be absolutely amazing. Just because of how brutal this has been, you'd expect some deviation. And look, obviously, Fitzentoaster has a pretty substantial deficit at the moment. VaeluV has remembered his harp and is now trading it in for the staff, ready to get his stuff from the jerk.
I don't think we've seen Hawksness yet.
We have not. But we haven't actually found a way to Charlock, I don't think, either. So I think we'll probably find those pretty similar to each other.
Yeah. Apparently there is one town we have seen but not entered. Where was that? Because I know we entered the one town, and that was Breckenary.
Yeah, he died coming to it from the south and then came down from the north instead. But, my brain's mush at this point too, so it wouldn't surprise me if I didn't see it. Yeah, that was Breckenary, where V was blocked by a Star Wyvern. He approached it from the south, and then the next time he approached from the north. So, we have not... So yeah, I don't think we've seen Hawksness yet. Or we haven't even seen the town on the screen. But, again, we haven't... As far as I know, we haven't seen Charlock on the screen, except for from that second continent where it's unreachable. So, there's still somewhere to go. I don't know where that somewhere is. I think it's probably south of, Rimeldar, but I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure we full cleared the first continent, right?
Well, I thought we had, but VaeluV did full clear the second continent because it was 2 screens. And then it was water blocking everything off. And so we must have missed something on the first continent somewhere.
You know, it's gonna be one of those where it's like you wrote it off because there were mountains blocking it, but there's a little tiny pass through the mountains or something, isn't it? It's gonna be one of those
probably.
seeds.
Like I said earlier, he was south of Cole when he died to an Axe Knight that he couldn't get away from, and I feel like there was still a little path going down that way. And given that we know that Sharlock is in the far southwest of the map because of where the second continent comes out, where we can see it across the water, that means that that's why I think that's there. Hey, whoa, 17, 13, 1, and 12. We've got stats, people.
Yeah, we're still not tickling the Dragon Lord, though.
Well, if we have Erdrick Sword, we will. If we have Erdrick Sword, we will be able to do anywhere from 2 to 5 damage to the Dragon Lord.
So, finally we're back in something that resembles normalcy.
Only took us 2 hours and 20 minutes. And yeah, while the stats may be normal for 13, 2 hours and 23 minutes isn't really when you want to be hitting 13.
It's really not.
I've been in seeds where it happened. There is a classic seed that we've dealt with where the winner finished at 3:03, which was High Spirits, and then Up to and G finished a minute later, where Up to and G, kind of like we fought Scorpions, Up to and G spent 70 minutes just continually casting Hurt on Magiwyverns, going back to the end, coming back and casting more Hurt, not Magiwyverns, Star Wyverns, and did that for a good, for a literal 70 minutes.
Yeesh. I think that these runners both like, I'm just ready for this seed to be done.
We also, I missed it, but we got a Scale Druin Lore, which is a glitch text that I have never seen before. So that would be the Scale from Dragon Scale, which is really fascinating. I think the last one that I saw that was totally new to me was DK. Of course it was DK because it was a flute Goldman that he found. And then I posted last one I posted was a Light Wraith, which I thought was, oh my goodness, I hadn't seen this before. And then I was looking back through history, and apparently I said the exact same thing in the clips months before, where I was like, Light Wraith, that's a new one.
I feel ya. Oh, apparently have we found a way to Sharlock? I think we found a way to Sharlock. Yo!
We have now, and we found Hawksness in the process is the next question. Now, because we know the Stoneman stats, it's hard for me to kind of speak from a perspective where I don't have the information. But
There it is.
Here it is. Let's see what happens. I'm thinking about the Stoneman grind, and I'm wondering, do you even bother casting Stop Spell on the Stoneman? Or you can just swing through it once you get the sword. But maybe you find this is a better grind. The thing is, this is not going to be a good grind long term, almost no matter what it is, because you've got to get here, and that's a big task.
Yeah.
Now, I know we saw an Armor Knight before, but I believe that was on Fitzentoaster's screen, so I don't think VaeluV has seen an Armor Knight yet. I don't know what it has, but this is totally gettable with what he's got, so it's not dangerous at this point unless he's got a heal more hiding in the tank.
Yep.
But given that this is so far away and this cave is where it is, and the Stone Man has lots of spells and no stop spell resistance, your grind is, as bad as it feels, is whacking away at those Stone Men for the next 13 levels before you get there.
There's the sword.
So it is just a fight more for the Armored Knight. But so don't look now, but VaeluV, after all that, is now done with all of his searching. Has completed everything, has every item, so there's no need to do an early dive of Sharlock. He knows where a grind is that's relatively free, so while it's a nasty one to deal with just in terms of Stoneman or Night fights are never fun, it's a guaranteed grind, it's right by healing, and it's very low risk, so you can do a lot of them before you have to go back for resources. So I would assume that that's where he's going to set up shop for the next little bit, and we'll see if we can't get to the final go level relatively quickly.
Yep. Also gonna place the rainbow drop, at least. I don't know if he's actually gonna go in.
Yeah, I never know anymore whether or not people want to go in or not. Nope, there is no benefit to placing that rainbow drop first. Lots of runners do it. I don't exactly know why. It doesn't hurt you to do it, because at some point you've got to drop it. But, so it's not like it's a bad play or whatever. It's just there's no reason to do it one time or another. It doesn't save anything. It doesn't shorten anything. It doesn't take the drop out of your inventory. And so, they just do that. But yeah, as somebody mentioned, it's maybe more of a commentator's tease at this point than anything else, just to, have some fun. And don't look now, but Fitzentoaster just picked up his harp, so he's got the coordinates to get now, and I think he is done. I'm pretty sure he saw Grave, so I think he has the death necklace. Thought I remembered watching him pick it up.
I don't even know at this point.
I also know he did a gold grind, so I'm wondering if he just did all that while we were looking at something else.
Maybe. But,
The Metal Slime actually mercifully sending VaeluV home. I think he was trying to get back. He tried to cast Return earlier and couldn't. And has been trying to get back home ever since, I think, to start his grind. And that Metal Slime finally said, okay, fine, here you go.
yep.
And VaeluV is also only about 130 experience away from the next level. So you never know. Maybe this is the magic level. We get 30s all the way down the board, and it's a free trip down to Sharlock.
I think that might be wishful thinking.
It might be. I'll just use this moment to point out that we're about 9 minutes from the point where the winner of the race where both players went to level 30, we're about 9 minutes from where that winner finished.
Dear God. So it's 56:25, yeah?
Yep, 5625, so he's right there. He's just loading up on some fairy water. I'm assuming these fairy waters are for repel purposes, though they might be for preparing for the Dragon Lord. I'm not sure. You know, with the attack power they've been dealing with, that's, well, it looks like at least this one's for repel purposes. The attack power they're dealing with is actually, I think they're more likely to get the attack power to go and not need fairy water than they are before they get the HP to go, because the HP, while it was really high early on, has completely stagnated. You'll notice that VaeluV is 2 levels ahead of Fitzentoaster, but has 1 HP less because of the build differences, which means that obviously there hasn't been a huge gain in builds, or in stats for the HP for the last 2 levels. Even that massive level where everything else was double digits, the HP was 1.
Yup. God, you know, I gotta wonder what things would look like on, say, a HPMP or a GMP build.
Well, honestly, the MP builds would have fared better early on in the seed, because they would have had a couple of more attack power. When the attack power is that low, the non-bonus stat actually or the penalized stat actually starts off higher because of the nature of how the stat penalty is calculated, and so they might have been able to get off the ground faster. Now, would they have to ground an extra 2 levels at the end? Would that be worth it? Who knows? But would have had some guaranteed hits on the magicians and scorpions earlier.
True.
So we do have heal and hurt more on the golems, which is an interesting thing. They don't seem to be as likely to use it as the stonemen are use hurt, but 12, 1, 10, 7, hurt, and repel. All of a sudden our attack power is higher than some people win at, but our HP is still lagging massively. And we have no hurt more, so we're going to be using this attack power to mow through some stonemen. And honestly, stonemen are pretty much free if you land a stop spell on them, so we've got the MP to just keep going at that. But it looks to me like VaeluV may just... No, he's trying to get to the spike tile and just had to reset. Finding the spike tile in Swamp is surprisingly tricky.
Yeah.
There it is. Now he's there. Putting him to sleep to throw the stop spell out. Because it's hurt that he's so happy with, I probably wouldn't waste my time with that. But again, it's been an hour since he's seen this, I think. Probably something like that. And so it's probably easy to forget, okay, I remember stop spell, but I don't remember why. You know, he just killed a golem that had hurt more. Those look very similar, so probably a check. I doubt he'll throw the next one to sleep, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, that's gotta be a 75% hurt, right?
Yeah, it has to be. I think I actually looked at it already, and it's 75% hurt, 50% heal. Lorgon did mention that this last level where he gained 12 attack power, that was the first level we've had where he gained between 2 and 27 attack power.
My, oh my.
But yeah, there is a real chance the next level, if we get a big HP boost, the next level could be go mode. I'll just look at my chart real fast. For 122 attack power, you want 21 swings. With Fairy Water, you can probably knock 2 swings off that, so you'll be at 19 swings. We have 12 heal mores. That's out of the range you're going to be looking for, so you're going to need more attack power to go with that HP gain. But if you can get, if we can get the HP gain and a little more attack power, a little more MP, the next level could realistically be go mode.
It could. Could also be a nothing burger.
It could, but the fact that Go mode could be so early, given the way this seed has started, is pretty impressive in and of itself. I'll put it a different way. There is a realistic chance VaeluV could sub 3 this, which is quite a feat.
I do question your concept of early.
Well, it's all relative. I mean, technically speaking, here on the East Coast, it's very early. It's 12:30 in the morning. The day just started.
Gonna get to that 7,500 mark very quickly, though.
And Fitzentoaster gets his magic 0 strength level, and there was much disappointment.
Yep. But Fitzentoaster's next level will give him the strength to be able to, not be suffering. Has Fitzen seen coordinates? Ah, okay. So, meanwhile, we are... somebody want to tell me how much, experience the Stone Man gives so I can do the math on this one. Two more. Thank you, Aaron. Also, hitting Stone Man for 40 almost feels so good after that early game. One more. We shall see what level 15 brings, if anything. Alright. Gotta be getting close at this point, right? Yep, thou hast done well in defeating the Stone Man. Virgin would have served thee well. Power 2, speed of 1, 4 hit points, and hurt more. Nope. So, off to 9750.
I just stepped away for a minute. I just got back, and it looks like we hit level 15, and our HP is still not helping us out.
Yeah, we got a whole lot of not much.
Yeah, that hurt more would have been really nice, like 6 levels ago.
You mean
or
like
really
14 levels ago?
Exactly.
Jinx. Yeah, no greens on level 15. Wow.
Yeah, that's a thing. Somebody in chat mentioning switching to the AK-47 grind. The AK-47 grind is probably a non-starter just because it is very, very far from any place you can heal up. And so the amount of time it would take to go get your resources and come back to the AK-47 grind would likely far outweigh the extra, 17 experience you get from the Armored Knights, even though they go down a little faster.
Yeah.
And that's not just how far away it is, it's also that these Stonemen are costing 2 MP each, whereas the Armored Knights are going to be costing 10 MP each, plus probably some heal mores in between.
Yeah. Which, considering we only have... I want to say that's 98, but I think that's actually 88, because I don't think 98 would be orange.
98, it is 98. We chose 104 to be the green MP. We had discussion about this ages ago. So 13 heal mores is green. I think we start the orange HP at 8 heal mores. Because generally speaking, with 13 heal mores, you can, I think that's the line where we say that like 128 agility you're in good shape, or 128 attack power, you're reasonable for, and that's just kind of a good middle benchmark of the attack power, because the attack power turns orange at 124 and turns green at 132.
Also, there's the heal on the Stone Man, but had hit for 114, I think it was, with an excellent move. So, sorry.
I was just saying, we've got the dueling Stoneman right now. Fitzentoaster is trying to take down this Stone Man in order to rescue the princess, in order to get the stones. Obviously, VaeluV didn't have to do that because he had that very smooth count that occurred. The stop spell, Fitzentoaster had been opting not to use the stop spell on the hurt, which VaeluV did the same thing, and then he saw the heal, so now he knows he has to throw the stop spell out. And that will make the rest of this battle go pretty trivially, and so Fitzentoaster will be getting his drop relatively soon, and hopefully finding Hawksness to get that Erdrick Sword.
Yep. Also, I think this might be one of those scenes where we have to preemptively remind runners that this is a PG-friendly stream.
Zarnock's making a good point in chat. This would be a really fun Router's Relish stream to do. Try to figure out what's the optimal way and then race, with a full knowledge of the seed, race it.
Yep. You can hide behind me if you want, Camion. I'm not afraid to take the blame for bad seeds.
I was about to say, Math Girl's an expert at taking all the heat for the bad seeds, so she can handle it for you.
There was a commentator called Shades that used to call them Shade Seeds, and he was just the commentator, claimed that he caused seeds to roll bad because he was a comm. That's a thing, right? Maybe I don't have to roll them. Maybe I just have to be in the booth for them.
They sense your presence.
Yes.
So unfortunately, VaeluV's not going to quite get his levels on this. I don't know if he's going to opt to Death Warp or if he's going to try to walk out now. He's actually going to try to push as far as possible, hoping to get level 16 before dying.
Matthew Greer, I politely disagree that this is the worst of all seeds. I did roll one that I would argue was far worse than this.
Well, worse is all the, is all again. It was the end was far worse, but the beginning at least wasn't as bad as this one.
Yeah, but it was RNG hell.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying the difficulty. I'm just saying it wasn't bad from start to finish. It was just bad from mid to finish. But yeah, for standard, of course, the big part of that one that we've talked about is in that seed wouldn't have been nearly as bad if we had hurt more, but we had a no hurt more flag set in that one. So
in the end, I don't know how much it really would have mattered considering how heavily they were putting you to sleep.
Yeah, we could have had enough to tank one sleep. I think the big issue was, yeah. Anyway, enough talking about that race. We're gonna move back onto this one because VaeluV is just about to get his next level.
Okay.
Team 1683. Alright, consulting the chart again. 126 attack power, you want 18 swings. With all the fairy waters, you might be able to pull that down to 16 swings if you're lucky. You've got 12 heal mores in the tank, 98 HP, so no doubles. I'm saying no.
Same.
It's close, but it's no.
Yeah.
With one more heal more, I would be tempted, but without the but at 13 heal mores, I'd be tempted. But you know, you got to go back with what this seed has been throwing at you. Do you really want to spend that much extra time on a dive when you can get the level that quickly, given how what's been. Having said that, he just sold the Death Necklace, which indicates to me he's clearing up another spot for Fairy Water, so I think VaeluV fully intends to try to dive here, and it's not a 0. He's just gonna need good rolls, a low Dragon Lord, maybe some make sure that he doesn't have to do any double heals, so hoping Dragon Lord likes to do some melees. But I mean, he is defense breaking Dragon Lord 1, so it's not a bad decision. It's just I think he's probably maybe even odds or slightly worse.
Beta would probably be able to tell us that. Beta, what would you say the odds are for defeating the Dragon Lord at level 16 on VaeluV? Less than 50.
Yeah, I could give you precise odds, except for my chart doesn't take Fairy Waters into account, so that kind of throws a wrench into things.
What would it be not taking into account Fairy Waters?
At 126 attack power, you need 18 swings. Well, let's see here. Let me make sure I'm crossing this right. 18 swings gives you 88% chance to win, 17 swings gives you 60%, and 16 swings gives you 22%. So you, realistically speaking, need 17 swings. You have 12 heal mores, no chance of doubles, which means the max you're going to get is 15 swings. So you're going to be too short, and it's not going to be doable. But, generally speaking, at this kind of attack power, a whole stack of Fairy Waters is worth roughly 2 extra swings. So it is borderline right there. That's why I say it's around 50%, maybe slightly less, but it's not a awful odds. I mean, I've seen a whole lot worse happen this seed.
I mean, here's another thought. So, I mean, you gotta figure, we know that these runners are both in the same boat, and if anything, VaeluV has the lead, but VaeluV does not know this. VaeluV could very well be feeling, oh my, I am so far behind. There's no way at almost 3 hours that my opponent's not on Dragon Lord 2 right now. basically be what I'm thinking right about now.
Funnily enough, I might have the exact opposite perspective, in the sense of, if my opponent was going to have substantial edge on me, they would have already done. So, they've probably seen just as much as I did, which means that I should be able to play this like I would play a seed that wasn't automatically horrific to begin with. And so I would be kind of more inclined to take that extra level because of how long the seed has gone.
I mean, I've also been in the position where somebody who should have been done an hour before wasn't at 3 hours. And my thoughts then were, what happened? Uh-oh. And of course you can't ask that in race chat, so that also kind of plagues at the back of your mind.
So while you're having that discussion, VaeluV ran into a red dragon in Charlock, which we had not seen before. He decided to try to swing it down because it threw a hurt out at him. And then it followed that up with a heal more, completely wrecking all the plans, and meaning we are going to need to have to get away from the red dragons. At 81 agility, we're about a 45% chance to run. In fact, I think it's exactly 45% chance to run at 81 agility. And so, with hurt, I would definitely recommend running from the red dragons rather than trying to fight them again. But yeah, that one hurts. No pun intended.
No, but I just no. This one might be on par with AK-47. Depending on which you hate more, RNG or just grind the seed. I guess this could be on par with AK.
I still go with this is the seed that should have rolled for Beta Strep versus up to NG. That I can think of no two players I would rather see go at this particular seed than those two.
Yep. Also, for the question in chat, so we lovingly named this seed the AK-47 seed because so this was a no hurt more seed that hurt more. You could go to level 30 and you never got hurt more. AK-47s had, what was it, 75% sleep, 50% DL2 breath, 12 of 16 stop spell resist, 60% of Zone 1 of Charlock had AK-47s, and 40% of Zone 3 of Charlock had AK-47s.
Yeah, and that one, 3 of the 4 runners finished over 3 hours, and it was a Threes Company seed, which means you have to deliver the Princess to the Dragon Lord. You don't actually have to beat the Dragon Lord. So those seeds usually go really, really fast, and yet we had 3 runners go over 3 hours for that because of how utterly brutal trying to get run down through was. It was fun time.
So actually, it was 2 of them, and because the last one forfeit. And those 2 runners actually finished within a minute of each other. Somehow.
Those are always the best. That's the one I was talking about earlier. We're up to, and G grinded the 70, or spent 70 minutes grinding Star Wyverns. He finished like less than a minute behind High Spirits to win that one. It's always fun when those ridiculous seeds end up with super tight finishes. I think we had one of those recently where we had a seed that went over 2 hours that was finished with less than 10 seconds separation.
Jeez. But yeah, it's just like, but the thing was, is that was so RNG heavy. To have, like, execution's different, but when it's that RNG heavy, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. It depends on what you're looking at, because this seed, you could probably route in a way that would make it less painful, but that one you couldn't route. So it's all a matter of perspective on what things bother you the most, as to what seed you're going to say is the worst. But
I mean, I guess technically speaking, there was a way to make that seed not be RNG dependent, but that would have meant grinding to level 28.
Oh, I guess so. I could we could defense break them. That might have been a faster option. Alright. So we've got VaeluV here, grinding in Sharlock. He saw those reds, saw that they were free, and said, you know what? Because we've got free reds here, let's just stop spell them, kill them, get our next level where it's no longer that borderline, hopefully, and then we can go on and not have to worry so much about killing the Dragon Lord, because when you're floating with this many red dragons, you're having issues. The nice thing is, well, I was about to say, all of these monsters Charlotte monsters that have skills seem to not have any stop spell resist, but the golem just said, you're wrong.
Also, another thing with the AK-47 seat, though, by this time, one runner was finished.
6
like
out
an hour ago.
6 out of 16 stop spell from these golems, so that's still not awful. You know, you throw a couple stop spells out there, you're gonna get it, and you'll and I mean, again, this is once you land it, this is free 350 experience. So two more golems slash red dragons, and VaeluV's at the next level. Yeah, I think Beta Strip, I think you're right. I think 6 out of 16 is a max resist on the golem. I think we ran across that earlier this season, and that was discussed. I don't remember for sure, but that sounds right to me.
Also, yeah, I guess we're grinding 17 here. We're almost there. We are 375 away. One more enemy will do it.
He's gonna go outside and just take an outside enemy to deal with it. A wolf will do it.
Yep, let's see this. We have 8, 2, 1, 1. Oh.
That's more than plenty. With 130.
I guess with that AP, that'll do.
Yeah, 134 attack power. You need 14 swings. You've got 12 MP, or you've got 12 heal mores. That is, I'm comfortable diving right there, especially given how tame the red dragons are. With the 83 agility, like I said, about a 46% chance to run from the red dragons. So it's not. It seems to be a pretty tame dive. Most of the Charlotte monsters seem to be pretty tame. I am calling absolute go mode here. Yes, 14 swings to win. Generally speaking, heal mores +2 is the benchmark you want to use for how many swings you're going to get, because you will, generally speaking, get it with max resources. You'll get 3 extra swings above heal mores, but generally speaking, you don't start with full hit points when you go into the Dragon Lord 2. So I round that down to 2, and because that's usually helpful to deal with other various and sundry problems that might crop up. A burned heal more, or on the dive, or a double heal against the Dragon Lord or whatnot. So I tend to use heal mores +2 as the number of swings that I feel comfortable diving with on an average Sharlock.
Also, I have to enjoy pointing out, this is not free. We only have 1 heal more to spare with very low end HP.
Yeah, it's definitely not free. I may have said that earlier because the 8 felt really big to me, but then I looked at my chart and it said, yeah, this still isn't free. This isn't as good as you thought it was, but it's still definite go mode. I would not grind another level off of after this unless Sharlock chose to be something really, really bad, and given that we know red dragons aren't particularly bad, I'm not inclined to worry about that. VaeluV is putting the fairy water on. He is, with his defense power, he is repelling wizards, werewolves, star wyverns, and green dragons, and given that he's at 134 attack power, he has no need to use that fairy water in combat anymore, as fairy water is roughly the same as 134 attack power. It's like 134.3 attack power is what it comes out to be.
Isn't it 9 to 16 versus 8 to 17?
Yeah, but it's the average roll you get. There is not an attack power that averages out to exactly 13.5 because it's not a uniform distribution across the range, and so each point of attack power does change things a little bit.
And a wild high spirits appears. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, High Spirit, you should go away, not watch anything else, and then play this on stream tomorrow. Everyone will enjoy it.
Hey, what time is he gonna? And there's Hawksness for Fitzen. Gonna get his sword.
What I would say, because VaeluV did just die due to having bad run fortunes in Charlock, but when you're fighting enough of these monsters, and you have as little HP as you have, those run fortunes, one bad battle can pretty much ruin you. So what I would tend to do in his shoes is I would try another dive at Charlock to see if I can get to Zone 2. Because Zone 1 looks bad, but if you can get past Zone 1 and it's nice and breezy, then you don't have to worry about anything. But if you get to Zone 2 and you're also having to deal with Red Dragons or Armor Knights, that's the point where you start thinking, well, maybe another level wouldn't be the end of the world. What I would be more apt to do, actually, is just not repel in Charlock and see if I could pick off some other things to potentially hedge my bets a bit. There's various different things, or because of how good the top zone is, you could think about grinding another level. We'll see what VaeluV decides to do. I would also, much as I dislike doing it, I would be using the Fairy Flute to get away from those golems to ensure that there weren't run blocks to cause me issues, because my healing resources and my HP are limited here, and I just don't want anything to go wrong. The golems have a lot of attack power, and they have hurt more, so if they get a turn, they're going to do at least 20 damage to me, and that can add up. And so I would be apt to flute on those golems. Again, we're 3 hours and 5 minutes into a seed. I'm not worrying so much about trying to save 8 seconds here or there.
Yeah. Hey, this has been a fun one.
I am glad that I was here for this. I most certainly would have been in comms enjoying the misery regardless, or in chat enjoying the misery regardless, so it's good times.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we've both been here for the 2 worst seeds ever rolled in DWR.
I will say I did learn that my water bottle does not have 3 hour seeds worth of water. 3 hours seed worth of water in it.
Yep. If I had my boyfriend's, it would, because it's a gallon water bottle. So, Bog, I'm sorry, I probably completely screwed that up. This was like 2 hours of just sitting there grinding because the first 12 levels had, what was it, 41 strength at total at level 12. There was 9 strength gain between 10 levels.
Alright, so we have another stone man on the spike in front of the Dragon Lord. That is, he didn't throw the stop spell out. The stop spell is free, but I mean, you can, easily swing past that, so it's not really a big deal that he didn't throw the stop spell out.
Oh god, apparently one time there was a race of an hour in getting level 2. Oh. Alright, Dragon Lord time. Yes, has all the heal mores intact.
Yeah, you gotta use your herbs here, hoping to... The good news for VaeluV is that he is defense breaking the Dragon Lord, so a swing by the Dragon Lord is effectively... I mean, not exactly, but it's close to as good as a stop spell. So that's what you're hoping for. You're throwing out these herbs and hoping you get one of those things.
Yep. Alright. Let's start counting, shall we? We got 16. And 29. Uh, 38. 48. 59.
Low roll, but Dragon Lord rolls low as well.
67. Yep. 77. 93.
That was a really nice one after a slew of bad ones.
Yep. 109.
Another very nice one, putting him in really, really good shape
now. 124.
Almost free at this point.
135. 143. And 155 does it. GG. Bring out your GGs. Or VaeluV. Gonna be 312 and change.
The official time is 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 18 seconds.
Wow.
And we do have a forfeit. And nobody blames him for that at all.
I'm just surprised they made it this long into the seed without doing that.
Bravo to both of them for slogging this one out. And we have VaeluV in the booth. GGV.
Friendly reminder, this is APG chat, please.
What even was that?
That was a lot of magicians.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I gotta adjust my sound. I can barely hear y'all. I think it's my end, though.
All good. Alright. So, it's 995 attacks.
All right, that's better. I had to turn that off. I couldn't hear over my own game music. What even was that seed? Why would you do something like that to me?
So this time it was not my fault. Although I suppose I was in the booth, so maybe I cursed it.
Well, I think it was cursed with VaeluV choosing Math Girls to put Math Girl's name in on his own name. But GG and also GG Fitzentoaster. That was a thing.
Yeah, that was a wild one. I don't know. When I was level 8 and I hit a Kaishin on a magician for 7 damage, I was kind of like, what is going on?
So, did either of you consider asking for a reroll at any point?
I didn't, because I knew that there was killable stuff. It would be slow, but there were red slimes and blue slimes and magicians, which were, 1 hit point at a time. So I figured, it's doable, so we'll go.
Yeah, I didn't think, I mean, I knew it was going to be a slog, but I just kind of figured we'd just tough it out.
I didn't think that, I would still only have 10 strength at level 10 or whatever it was that the strength finally came. But yeah, the one thing, I wish I made a play for Cantlin earlier, because even that bamboo pole would have been helpful there to take out the magicians. It was weird, at level 3, I was able to kill a magician, 1 hit point at a time, and then at level 4, all of a sudden, I couldn't land a hit on them anymore. It just was ridiculous.
That is actually a thing, a quirk in the battle thing. If you have exactly 8 attack power on a magician, you will only hit them 1/3 of the time, rather than the half of the time you will hit if you have less than 8 attack power. So that is why you were having that issue, because you were on that level that made magicians awful, and that unfortunately that was the one you had to grind the most magicians on.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I think I didn't grind magicians. I just gave up and I grinded red slimes. Red slimes, so many red slimes. Yeah, that was a seed. All the stuff was close afterwards, though. Nothing was really hidden except for Hawksness. And it was nice to see the 2 cursed belts, so I knew I didn't have to dive the bottom of the grave. So I was somewhat happy about that.
Yeah, we saw you got that, you grabbed that extra chest afterwards, and you took about 10 steps and then just stopped for a second. And we're like, yeah, no, I'm going outside. So we're like, oh, it just clicked in his head.
Yeah, I needed a second to take a look at my own little tracker that I have, and I was like, oh yeah, I do have all the key items. Let's get out of here.
So, I'm guessing that's when you realized you had harp, because we did notice you left Gernham basement without turning that in. Also, sorry if that's already been asked. My brain is fried.
So yeah, there Harp was in the back of Garenham, and you went immediately back to the staff trading cave behind Garenham, and then walked right out. And you came back later to turn it in, but I was you're like, this is what happens in a 2-hour scene.
Yeah, I think I didn't realize I had the harp or something at that point. It was like anyhow, I went back and got it eventually.
So, another thing that was going on early, scorpions. Scorpion thing.
Yeah, neither one of you spent a lot of time grinding scorpions, or you kept running from scorpions while you were grinding the magicians. And I was curious about your decisions. You know, you had a whole bunch of heal, you had a bunch of hit points. I was curious about your decision to avoid the scorpions while going at the magicians.
Well, for me, I just figured the scorpions were hitting me for 5 or 6 hit points, whereas the magicians were for like 1 or 2. And if I can't hit a magician, I probably can't hit a scorpion either. I'm not sure exactly what the stats are. If they're identical, then probably bad on me. But like they were hitting me for a whole lot harder than those magicians were too.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at too. When I was, I think I tried 1 or 2 of them just about every level, but when I see that I'm getting hit for 5 or 6, I was kind of like just noped out.
I'll also say one of the interesting, or I think one of the things that kind of told a little bit of the seed was when VaeluV, you were out wandering off to the west, and you ran into a metal slime after seeing Rimmeldar and Cole. And at level 9, we're able to kill it without it running away. We saw you check your stats afterwards, like, is my attack really still that low? And then Fitz is on his way there, getting close to the towns, runs into a metal slime, and proceeds to be immediately DL2 breathed back home. After I had been saying, "Oh, watch the way the seed is gone. Watch there be or DL2 breath," and you got away without it, and then he didn't, and that kind of set him back a decent ways because he wasn't able to get keys as early.
Yeah, that was my big. I think one of my big downfalls in the seed was I didn't find Rimmeldar that early, and then once I found it, I was like, well, I'm obviously behind now.
Funny when we say that early and it's like an hour and a half in, but yeah, I feel you there.
I also bravo V on getting that count. That was a challenging one.
Yeah, I did I set a couple waypoints, like the one just south of Tantagel, and then like it pretty much took me to a town. So I don't know which one of my little numbers I have written down, but Breckenary or whatever town that was, I had that written just in case I got lost, and it was more or less a straight shot from there. So when I missed the count, I kind of realized, oh, it has to be on this line just more north. So I went up and got it. But when I missed it at first, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to go dig around for this thing. But I'm glad I found it too. I did not want to rescue the princess.
We were also, and I understand if you guys don't even remember this at this point. What was the logic early on of not exploring?
Of not exploring?
Yeah, we were both kind of surprised early on that y'all didn't trek across the swamp earlier than you did finally trek across the swamp. And so we're curious.
Well, I made a, not early, but a relatively early play across the swamp, and I just got completely smoked and looked at my stats and saw that my power was still like 8. And I was just like, I just don't have I mean, I did have heal at that point, so I probably could have pushed out a little bit, but I figured I basically kept grinding, waiting for that next big level for hurt more or for big power, and it just never came.
Yeah, mine was. I was gonna say I kind of had a similar thought. For me, it was kind of like I'm struggling enough killing magicians. That means there's going to be nothing else out there for me to find, really. Like, maybe I can find somewhere that has ghosts. Those won't be much better, but okay. And I did make a couple of pokes out that way, and it was like the best thing I found was Drakey's, and they had Dragon Lord 2 Breath. And then and everything along the way there was, you know, werewolves that would just back attack and kill me, and green dragons and blue dragons. So, like, I was maybe a half a screen away from Cantlin, but didn't know it yet. But at that point, I was just like, there's, you know, who knows how far this is going to be. Every second I'm not putting damage against magicians, I'm probably getting further behind. So I just decided to stick with the grind.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. Fitzentoaster had a reasonable experience lead on you that you were only able to make up once you got the hand axe. You're opting to you're managing to hit hand axe money right as you hit level 8, 9, whatever, whichever one it was, and being able to take that to Cantlin helped out an awful lot, because most of for a long period of the time, Fitz was running around with the club while you were running out with the hand axe, and that got you back up in the experience lead.
Yeah, and I noticed that I had that hand axe money. I was like, I need to save this, and like I at that point I wasn't gonna fight anything until I found a town to spend that hand axe money on. So I was just really lucky at that point that Cantlin was right there, and I was able to get that.
Yeah. Another question. Any reason you guys didn't outside in swamp?
I think I did the second time I went through it. Like when I went through, like, actually to go see the nothing that was over there. But the first time I went through, I just kind of was walking to see what was in it, and yeah, the other time I did outside, I thought.
Yeah, we were thinking that first time both of you went across and ended up dying in Swamp Cave, I think. No, actually, I think Fitzentoaster got along and saw the magic swamp world out there and died in that. But but we were just curious because we didn't know at that point whether or not, like, Garenham was on the other side of it, which, if it was, could have been a huge breakout point, and you had the opportunity to go out and outside there, and we were whatever. But then again, and we were asking these questions about these little small decisions, but part of that's because, first of all, I can't imagine what kind of mush your brain must have been in at that point. And second of all, we had a lot of airtime to fill, and so we had to find something to talk about.
Fair enough. I see what you mean. Yeah, it didn't even occur to me that it could have spit me out into the back of Garenham. I was just more thinking there's lots of stuff on this side of it to explore, so I tend to like to see what's on one side of the swamp before going through the other, because it really does. I don't like map or anything, so it can confuse me to start exploring. In this case, the other side of the swamp was not very big and not very eventful, but you know, when it really opens up, it can throw me off a little bit.
Alright. So, any last thoughts before we start wrapping this?
Just a good game, Fitzentoaster, and thank you everybody for sticking through this as well to do it. I guess if I'm gonna stick around for 3.5 hours doing a seed, then I guess you all did too. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And yeah, have a great night. And heck, I'll be racing all weekend. So keep watching Dragon Warrior Randomizer.
Yeah, you're kind of the linchpin of the Druid group now, or the Scorpion group, excuse me.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because I haven't said it before, even though I should have. Just thanks to everybody, Math Girl, Tilo, Camion, Zarnax, just everybody for running this tournament. This is my last race of the tournament, and I literally won 0 races, but I had a great time doing it, and I just really appreciate all the work that everybody puts into it.
Alright. And you guys did an amazing job. I don't often feel bad for a runner, no matter how bad a seed gets, but man, this was one of those. But alright. Chilo, any last thoughts?
No, just bravo to our runners for sticking through a 3-hour seed and managing to get out of that trap. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the races this weekend to finally fill out that bracket.
Alright, so with that, I'm about to post the commentary link in chat as well as DWR. So follow our runners, Fitzentoaster and VaeluV, putting on an excellent race. Camion Rinakai, our restreamer, my co-commentator Tilo, and the tracker Vinicus, and if you like myself, although I don't really stream. Have a great night, everybody, and see you next time.